We did watch Titane earlier, and Jason was here. We watched after he got off work, so he was able to tag along, and so now we
Yeah,
have
while
him
I was
for
eating my lunch, and that was
while
a good
he's eating his
idea.
dinner. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about Raw recently, did an analysis of that, and so if you want to check out that, you can definitely check that out in the description. But we figured we'd come here and review and kind of analyze the secondary film from this director. Now, this was the one that she won the Palme d'Or for, right?
Yep.
Okay. I enjoyed this one far less than I enjoyed Raw. I thought that this one was like very much kind of all over the place, had a lot of really jagged edges when it came to like story and editing. I thought that the direction was cold at parts and kind of calculated, but then for the parts that it should have been the most cold and detached, like the car scene, you actually go to that shot inside the car when she's first fucking it, and it like has this kind of warmth red tone, which when you're going for this whole thing of like the a fetishization of this mechanical device, you don't want to have this warmth within that. So here's the other thing though, is I'm not saying that like this is a bad or terrible film. Even I would say it's like an okay to decent film. I would probably rate it like a 2.5. Raw for me was a 3.5 though, significantly higher. And I think also part of it was a lot of people were talking about how this is like Crash 2.0, and they were making all these comparisons to the Cronenberg films. There were some Cronenberg aspects, but realistically for me, I feel like it kind of just utilized those like aspects to be kind of shocking. And there was some little bits, like for example, the oil coming out of her vagina. You can look at that as like, oh, her obsession with cars, that was something that was imposed upon her as a child, has seeped like so deep into her, like it's literally seeped into her and now impregnated her. And this idea and this like trauma from a child is kind of what causes her to be detached and cold. And I think that like that is something you can draw, but they never really go anywhere with that. The parent thing, for example, they kill her parents right away, and while they kind of give this idea that the dad was somewhat detached and kind of mean to her, they never show him as being like super fucked up. It was just like it was a terrible accident at the beginning.
Yeah, he
but it was
feels
an
at
accident.
fault. That's the reason why he's detached.
Yeah, exactly. So like there was no thing for me that really the thing that I was seeing here is there was a lot of shit thrown together that felt like some of it you could say had a point or you can analyze pieces of it, but on a wider scale I didn't feel like it was saying much. And the broadest thing I can pull from this is it's about some level of either sexuality or asexuality, because for example she fucks both men and women and neither of those things satisfy her. So at the end, maybe it's because of course she wants the more aggressive shit, so maybe she won't, whatever. But at the end of the day, maybe it's like something about that and how like, you know, you have to figure out your own sexuality or else it'll like eat itself, etc. But like it doesn't say that much shit that's interesting about it. And like Crash is so much better, cleaner, etc. And I think that was the issue too. Is like I'm a big fan of Crash, so when I was watching this and people kept saying that, at first for the first half of the film, I consistently compared it to Crash. The second half of the film was the better half for me, actually, which is I like the whole visceral body horror thing, but the second half is when it gets into the psych drama aspects, where we're back to more what Raw did so well. And that is what I thought this film actually, if they didn't have that whole bit with like the dad and this whole kind of father bond type thing, and how this serial killer has to kind of weave themselves into this really strict guy's life and etc., I feel like the serial killer part wasn't necessary for that. You could have just had her run away, for example, but that was the far more interesting part for me when she saved the life of that one like lady, because the guy overdosed and she like passed out or whatever, and she gave her the CPR. From there onward it got like a good bit better, and otherwise this film would have been rated like a 1 out of 4 stars for me if it weren't for those psych drama aspects. So yeah, that's we can get into further analyzation of later bits or whatever, but that's my main thesis and scoring. What do you guys got to say?
I mean, I liked the beginning because it kind of felt like a cyberpunk type of thing.
Okay.
And it just kind of moved away from that direction, which I really didn't like. It felt weird. I mean, the first dude, she basically kills after she makes out with him, and then stabs him exactly the same way that she does pretty much all her victims.
Everybody, yeah.
So that just felt unnecessary. I don't understand why that had to be thrown in there. And then it kind of moves on from that point, and she just kills a house filled with people. One of the dudes was fucking like
Huge.
built like a goddamn linebacker.
Literally.
I don't understand how the fuck she just took that dude
Dude,
down.
out with no problem. Dude, because the second that like she stabs into me, I would just snap her neck. Like, I don't understand.
Yes, that dude was like 6'7". I mean, he looked like a fucking pro wrestler or some shit.
100%.
But yeah, that didn't make any sense. And then I don't understand why the dude shouted up the stairs to the girl that was there and said, "Call 911," and she locks herself in the fucking bathroom.
Yeah, and there's no window in that bathroom with this giant house that has windows everywhere. Like, there would have been at least a small window to go out.
And then from that point, she locks her dad in the bedroom, and then essentially, while the fire is lit. And it felt like, why the fuck is that necessary? And then it just kind of moves on there. It's a completely different movie in the second half. And the one thing, it's just kind of weird to me, but she grows a mustache. That's not possible unless she's taking...
Yeah, so this is the thing that I had mentioned, is I thought at first that the dad, when he was putting the cream on her, it was testosterone cream, because that is a thing that you can get for a topical thing to grow mustaches.
It might have been.
But then he shaves it. He puts it on and he uses
it
the
has
thing
to be
to
on
shave
there
it.
longer than
so
2
like
seconds.
that's what I was confused. So it obviously couldn't have been that. Real quick to your points about that beginning there. I like the first scene where the accident happens, because that really grabbed me.
And she has like a fan base, which is more interesting as well. Like, why does she have a fan base? Who are the...
Yeah.
And the fact that she, has, like, interaction with humans is just not something that she enjoys.
Well,
so she fucks up cars, and she only wants to be around cars.
Yeah, well, the first scene really gripped me. The whole thing that, you mentioned, I did get that cyberpunk vibe, and I even said that when you were watching it. It really did, like, especially with the scar on her, I was like, she looks like a cyberpunk character. Yeah. And having the whole car mixed with strip club vibe was this interesting futuristic thing, and I started getting a little bit of Crimes of the Future vibe, not in a bad way though, but kind of just similarities, even though that came out afterwards, obviously. But so the thing that I understand why they did all these things.
So the original, right?
What was it? Not the original. I haven't seen the original. The new one.
Is it the same thing?
No, totally different.
I mean, I have barely any recollection. I was too fucking high and it kept passing out.
The first Crimes of the Future is like this weird pedophile thing. Like yeah, it's very weird.
Oh wait, there was like a OG.
Like the first Cronenberg movie was like this weird thing where this doctor impregnates a young girl or something.
I thought Crimes of the Future was his most recent.
That's so he made his first movie in the 1970s called Crimes of the Future, and then he made another movie in 2022 or 2023.
Yeah,
2022. That literally was called Crimes of the Future, but had no like tied to the first one at all. Like, they're not at all related.
I assumed he just remade it.
I did too, and then that's when I looked into it and I was like, oh no, these are entirely different films. Yeah. Because I remember reading the Crimes of the Future like way back when I first started the Cronenberg, before even they announced Crimes of the Future. I read the plot and I was like, oh, well, if he's remaking that would be terrible. He can't remake that movie now, because it literally is about these guys gang raping a young girl.
Well, yeah, it's like Stephen King's It. You can't really do the
you can't do the gangbang scene. It's not gonna be okay.
Yeah.
But I like
having seen Videodrome fly quite a bit of Crimes of the Future, because they showed quite a lot in the trailers and stuff, and then rewatching this, I was having the feeling, I wonder, it'll either go like one of two ways, because the first time I watched Titane, I really didn't like it. I watched Raw, and I loved Raw, and then literally the next day I woke up, like bought her next film and watched it, and I just didn't like it anywhere near as much. But then I was thinking, well, I wonder, like, the amount that I've mentioned Crash when talking about this film, never having seen Crash, just knowing people talk about Crash related to this film, I wonder if there's any, like, world going in with that. It's enjoyable, because I can't imagine it's anything similar to Crash from what I know.
So
I kind of know the plot of Crash.
Here's the problem: is this is to just finish my thing. The club was interesting, and then what they do is they go to the Crash route, but they take it to another level where instead of people fetishizing cars, that's all I'll say, then it's the woman, like people fetishizing car crashes. It's a woman just fetishizing the actual car itself.
Yeah.
And it goes to this surrealist point. So here's the thing. You have this first scene. The girl gets in the car crash, grips me. I was okay with that.
And then she gets out of the hospital, and then you see
her caress the car.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Like, she says "fuck you" to her parents, basically, and is like, and so you can see that this is something that's woven into her. And even like when we get to the point where she kills the guy, I can understand that, like, when you get into a car crash, like, they said this about the comedian Roseanne, for example. Apparently, she got into a car crash where she was on her bike and somebody hit her with a car. She hit the back of her head, and she was aggressive and mean and like just whatever for the rest of her life. And her parents said that she was never the same. So having that thing and having that cold plate in her head, I can understand how it kind of assimilates to this like cold, calculated way that she does things. And I told Jason, like, right when she stabs the guy in the ear, I was like, oh, she did that so well that she clearly has done that 1,000 times before. And so then it's obviously revealed that she's a serial killer. But here's the thing is, I like those oil parts, but then what they do is they turn it into a fucking standard slasher film. It turns into Barbarian for me, basically. It goes from like a good, decent idea that's surrealist, and I'm halfway on board with.
Like, I mean, if you're gonna go with like the idea that the accident caused her to become a serial killer,
yeah.
It just, to me, is really lame, I guess. I kind of was hoping... They
don't really do much about, like, head injuries and then that cause... There's only been a couple times that I can think of that. But, I mean, to me, that is interesting.
Because
like
where did it start? That's the other thing, too. Like,
so she probably, when she was a kid, would, like, kill animals and do other... Like, that's usually what happens, right? But you don't want to have to go through all the years of showing all
that. Well, that's kind of why, like... I like Bones and all is because it shows where she starts being a cannibal.
Sure. I think there's room, though, to tell stories later on, but they just need to be told better. And again, the issue is not that she's a killer. I'm okay with that.
But
I'm okay with all this.
Like a whole... I like I like the idea of the first half of the film, except for the serial killer part. I think that's
when
stupid.
she goes and just kills
I like
a bunch
her
of random
being
people,
like this weird celebrity that, you know, just has this extreme fetish for cars and everything.
Sure.
And then, like, but she hates all
I'm
people.
okay with her, like, killing that guy, too. Like, maybe... Because here's the thing, too. This is
and
my
then
question.
The nipple ring in the shower.
Oh, God,
why was it necessary?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Her hair getting stuck in the fucking ring?
Here's my question, too. The guy with the car, in the car where he forcibly kisses her, why make that killing just, like, somewhat just... Obviously, it's a way overkill. If, like, the guy moved forward to, like, do more, then obviously it's justified. But in that moment, it wasn't fully justified. But why do that where you have even a hint of justification when you're just going to make her a cold-blooded killer?
Yeah.
Like, you should have just had it where, like, this guy wants to get her number and she just fucking murders him. And then it really gets across to me, like, oh, no, this bitch, like, hates people. And I think that her going around looking for random victims and shit is so fucking stupid.
Well, yeah.
Like, just going to a house party and murdering a bunch of... Like, it's so fucking boring and cliche when you have such this cool, surrealist idea to start with, and it teases the crash stuff and then never goes back except for one final... Like, the two final scenes of her fucking the fire truck and the birth scene. Mm-hmm. That's it. It never comes back, which is so fucking stupid. So otherwise, it does have similarities to Crash in the way of, like, the car fetishization, but it never takes that fetishization anywhere. And on top of that, the thing about Crash is it kind of says something about humans and fetishization and how that occurs, where this one, it hints at the idea that, oh, this fetish was built into her from this trauma as a kid, but it never explores that or says anything interesting about that. So, like, that whole part was... fucking ridiculous. What did you have an analysis of, like, the first part in the car bit, though? Did any of that, like, say anything to you, Peter?
Yeah, I think to start the least analytical thing, I think the shower scene. Yeah. Because we were talking about in Raw, the shower scenes are, like, done normally in everything they're sexual, and they're done in, like, Raw to not be sexual.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think literally just the idea is like, well, you know, if this is a shower scene you're expecting to be sexual, what's the least? Like, we're just going to throw this in here to, like, throw you off. Like, it's very disarming.
And it's like one of the few body horror parts too that kicks that off, which it's like yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I didn't have any actual analysis the first time around. I just watched it and I was like, I didn't connect with it as much as Raw at all. And this time around, maybe it's a film that's like better without expectations, because I very much wanted something similar to Raw the first time around.
Yeah.
And I gave it like an 8 out of 10, and I was like, I don't know why this is the one that like got her so much prestige.
Yeah.
But this time around, I got a different vibe from the start, where I realize, I think the intent is a metaphor for like assault, and it's very familial, the whole like message of the film. I think after the car scene, when she wakes up, she's like investigating her legs and they're all bruised.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like inferring something happened.
That would make sense with the dad too, where the mom said, go check her up or whatever, you know what I mean? Where he goes and feels her stomach and shit.
Yeah.
And then he had
like
that weird reaction.
refuses.
Yeah, and he had that, I can kind of see that for sure, but with that...
I think
okay.
the whole metaphor throughout that she was going for that I got this time around was more like the car thing is just, like the body horror of the car thing is just her envisioning of like this incestuous child that she doesn't want to have, which I think towards the end I was very much getting like that vibe, both like when the father finally realizes who she is, she's immediately like coming onto him as if like that's her expectation sort of thing, like she's like, oh well, he knows now, so I like need to fuck him or whatever. And then like he doesn't really react to like the oil and a child and stuff. So I got the feeling maybe it's just like her narration is this oil and stuff, because he didn't really freak out at it. He was just like, oh, yep, cool, you're pregnant.
Well, I mentioned to Jason that like it could be like a narrator thing where when she's seeing the oil, it could actually be blood or something along those lines. The problem that I have then is it's fucking cheap. Like, here's the thing. You can tell far fucking better story. Dolores Claiborne, great Stephen King fucking novel. Great movie. Tells the entire thing through the lens of somewhat of an untrustworthy narrator.
It's oil, too.
What was that?
It's the breast milk, it's oil, too. Like,
did she lactate?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, okay.
And then she squeezed and the oil came out.
Okay, yeah. Well, so, like, again, like, what is... I'm sorry. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. To me... there is nothing more horrifying than a dad raping his fucking daughter. Yeah. To me, a car crash is like 10 levels below that. Like, I don't give a fuck comparatively. And so then in that case, if you're going to, because I actually fully agree with you, Peter, now that you say that, especially because when we put it into the terms of when she meets this other father and she has this true familial bond where she really feels like cared for. And then at that point she chooses to stay. Like, all of that kind of adds up, and it shows like at the end when she does think that she needs to kiss him because she thinks that now he needs, like you said, some sort of reciprocation or some sort of payment. Like, that all adds up to that child abuse factor for sure. And then him kind of like rebuking it is like him being like, no, I really am your father figure. And it's like metaphorically sound, but it doesn't hit me nearly as fucking hard as like an actual like situation like that. Because now that you mentioned that sounds way better. But yeah, I've read actually like 4 analysis and nobody has come out with that. I've read like 4 different people analyze this, and so that's actually very fascinating idea. Yeah,
I saw after the first time I watched it, I looked at some analysis, and one of the ones I saw was discussing trans stuff.
Yes,
and I went into it trying to keep that in my mind, and I still couldn't. I'm just like not connected to that enough to kind of get the message from that. I'm sure people that are related to that can get more out of it. I just couldn't even really see what the message is coming through.
The main thing I think is that basically the idea for the trans side of things is that it's acceptance. So basically she has this family that doesn't know what she does, doesn't know what she's into, would never accept her, not on the serial killer side, but just for like how she feels about sex and everything, would never accept her, would probably never accept her as a stripper as well. And so when she is able, and also, you know, she already puts her hair up in a bun, and like, you know, in some ways she's like fully willing to dress like a boy when it all comes down to it. And in some ways, it's like she assimilates to who she is comfortable being. And obviously, it's still a faux person. But I think that kind of gets down to the idea that the gender is actually the thing that matters less than actually what it is that you like identify as and how you feel in that moment and if you feel accepted. Like obviously if you're trans and everybody's like nobody's accepting that fact, then you're gonna feel really neglected and left out. But the fact that the father, for example, was willing to accept her or him for whatever gender that the fuck they were, like that kind of is this idea that she finally found that familial bond that she had always been seeking. So I can see the trans stuff, but again,
but then he kills that one dude. Shit. He kills that one dude, which is like,
oh, that was kind of crazy though. Actually, that was one of my better scenes.
Like,
I didn't like.
So
it didn't do anything.
Is like I don't know what the fuck it was, but it blew up and then
it looked like a gas canister.
Yeah,
that was pretty intense. That's the only reason I like that scene. It was intense.
If you do the trans thing, basically he just loses his mind essentially because the dude's gonna sit there and out her. Right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it would be an outing situation. Like he like killed because he's gonna out the daughter. Yeah,
but that's pretty psychotic. But he is also
sure. But some people see like outing as being terrible as well.
He is extreme because of the steroids too. And you try to see him do pull-ups and he can't do pull-ups.
That's so fun, dude. Why is this guy so fucking jacked that he can't do a pull-up? Can somebody explain this to me? I did not understand that.
Yeah, no, you that jacked, you can do a
pull-up, bro. That's just
it's
crazy.
Not like he was fucking 500 pounds.
No, he was like pretty like he had the Joe Rogan guy, but he was like, but and also like I guess like part of it too is like when it comes to the steroid bit, the she had to accept him for him as well, and that's kind of why when the mom comes in, or ex-wife rather,
he had a hard time accepting that fact that he was old.
Yeah, 100%, and that he was going to die soon.
It's said something like that is said.
Yeah, his body is aging, is what he said, or something like that. Her, and the ex-wife, when she comes in, I can understand that. That's also why, like, he on the other end, it doesn't have anything to do with gender, doesn't have anything to do with any of this self-acceptance, but he just has a way that he is. He's this harsh, strict person that's hard to be around, and he has his ways, and he has the things that he wants to do, but he does it while saving lives. And all this other shit, and so the ex says,
he tells his ex-wife, he basically, hey, you're not gonna take him, and then she's like, I don't even fucking want him.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's just like
100%. There's this possessive aspect, and so it was like the dad there wanted to be accepted and have that bond that they always miss, just like she wanted that father-daughter bond probably with her dad, because even when she's like kind of laying there, she's not the one that's disgusted by this. It's the father, and it's probably because the father is realizing what he did in the past, and that's why he doesn't want to touch her, and that's why, Peter, you're 100,000,000% correct. I'm fully convinced on that one that it is an assault thing, because all of the rest of the pieces fall into place with that. But yeah, it just again feels pretty cheap hidden underneath all of this like body horror that doesn't really do much.
Yeah,
it's a more interesting. I don't know if this is true for both of her films, but I was posting on Reddit like what I thought, and I had one or two people reply, and one of them was like quoting an interview, which I didn't read any of her stuff, but apparently she said in an interview, replying to someone that had a similar theory or something like, all of the stuff in the film does happen, and we were having a back and forth discussion about how like this one, like I thought it for Raw was definitely metaphorical, but this one is definitely like this stuff does happen, but it's like the intent behind why it happens in this fantastical film is to convey this stuff that happens in real life.
That's surrealism for the most part, right? Is that you have like these kind of things that are fantastical and you use them to like say like, oh no, to the character this really happened. And that's why though I think that your idea though still can even stick with that, because to the character it could have really happened 100%. And like again, if we take that as like the father did it, like okay, that still also really happened in the story. So for the most part, it's just a matter of, do we have a trustworthy narrator? And considering the psychiatric position of the main character, the trauma that she received as a child from that car accident, and even if it wasn't that, like if those are false memories, then we can't trust her fully on everything being said. But then again, why have all these untrustworthy narrator aspects and all that if you're not going to actually try to go deeper and say something more with that
her
imagery?
Pregnancy advancing really fast, or what was it? What do you think?
Yeah, how long was it? Yeah, good question actually. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that was just one of the things I couldn't work out, and then when I was reading the Reddit stuff, I was like, well, I guess that's just part of the fantastical element. Is it just
it's like old
really happens quickly?
It just all happens fast. God damn.
I mean, the baby's also like entire skeletal structure is metal.
Is metal.
Heard, so it's very like.
The only thing I can get from that,
it's shot well because it's kind of like you really want to see what the baby looks like once it comes out, and then the dad, not the fireman or
Vincent,
whatever. He's holding the baby with the blanket covering it, and you can't see it until the very end. And so it builds up some anticipation.
I'd already seen it, and as soon as it got to that scene, I was like, wait, they showed the baby, don't they? I can't remember if the baby's fucked up or not. And the fact that I couldn't remember it, I was thinking it must be so fucked up that I, like, blocked it out of my memory. But it was just kind of inconsequential. I'm used to, like, the ending of a film like that would have something super gruesome, and you'd be like, what the fuck? Whereas it's just a baby.
Yeah,
speaking of things inconsequential, the bus scene didn't make any fucking sense.
Dude, oh my god, so we were going through this thing and we were talking throughout it, and we get to this bus scene where, like, basically, she's on the bus and there's this other lady and there's this group of guys in the back of the bus that's like catcalling her, and it actually reminded me of what you said, Peter, about Raw at the beginning, where there's the group of guys that goes around saying like, oh, we're gonna fuck. Or whatever the fuck it is, no one will stop us, something like that. And so basically in this moment...
what's happening in France?
Dude, I told you. I said, I'll stand by this. The French got some fucked up shit going on over. They just changed their, like, consent laws from, like, 12 to 14 or something, all right? You know what I mean? They're fucking up over there. But basically, in this scene, I got this idea that she was kind of sympathetic to the other woman on the bus, and it's possibly because she has dealt with, like, being attacked before, etc., or at least that's kind of what we gather. So the fact that they have this, and then rather than actually showing anything further, it just has this weird jagged cut directly to her getting off the bus after they share this strange glance. It felt like they were building up to something that just never fucking happened, and I do not like false scenes like that, especially when I felt like, oh, this is an interesting thing, like maybe she'll actually show some reciprocation and some humanity here, and it'll give us an idea of like what's going on. It'll say a little more, but rather than that, it just cuts and says absolutely nothing. And to the baby real quick, I can't wait till you see Eraserhead. There's a way better set of baby scenes in it, and for the most part, the only thing I could gather is that, like, the sins of the mother to a degree was passed down to the baby, but in this case that doesn't really make sense unless we're going for like the whole raw, the nature of people type thing again, or it's just literally supposed to be like shock value. I can't really think more beyond that what the baby would represent.
I wrote down a couple of things at the start of the film as well. I was thinking this would be a very interesting drive-through track. And I also wrote down it's basically Rose Mercedes' baby.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. I can see that.
I think the two things that I noted that I didn't... Like, we had the same thing with Raw, but then you had some insights on some stuff. Mm-hmm. But I had, like, the fact that the father burns alive in that, like, fucking massive inferno thing.
Yeah.
And then the car that she fucks is just the flaming Mustang, and the father that she meets later on is the fireman. And like one of the first scenes where he's on the job has a very similar, like, just the flames going up, and then he sees like a smoldering young boy or something in a cupboard. I don't know whether when he sees the boy it's supposed to imply like his son died or something.
I think it is supposed to be like some implication of that. Yeah, that he knows his kid died at heart, but that he's so heartbroken that he's willing to accept anything, which is why, like, even at the start when he says like, oh, you need to undress or else I'll undress you, it kind of gives this idea that he knows there's something up with this individual, but he doesn't actually push forward with it until later on.
Then he lights himself on fire.
That was, I think, was also like some good imagery too. And then also real quick, the baby thing, I think it could be an amalgamation of like her obsession with maybe her trauma, and that's why it comes out like partially like something that's kind of beautiful as in like a baby, and the other part of it is this metal kind of evil bit, and that could imply the kind of incestuous bit too that you had mentioned, Peter. But anyway, that's my last thing about the baby.
So like the fire stuff I couldn't directly correlate, and then I did note that I thought it was very interesting that she was killing all these people, but the insertion was through the ear. It's very like non-sexual, because usually killing is insanely sexually motivated if it's like that violent and aggressive, like you're literally penetrating. And then on the bus, the guys were making some comments, which reminds me very much of when we were talking about the fucking monkey discussion. They were saying offhandedly I'll fuck any hole in a woman, even an ear, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to get from this, but they've mentioned it. Some guys have mentioned it, and she keeps shoving stuff in the ear, but
so what I've always gathered from that type of thing, because I've heard the ear thing multiple times, is that it's some level of sexual depravity that there okay, I'll get very slightly into it, but there's a lot of I'm not going to go into it, but there's a lot of terrible war crimes that have happened specifically from Japan to China. The rape of Namjoon, I think it is, or Nanking, is they literally for 2 weeks went in and there are cases of skull raping women to death, the worst possible things that you could imagine. And part of that, I think, is what it's showing is that these men are sexually depraved, and on top of that, they're willing to do anything or fuck anything, literally, as they literally say. And what there is, we kind of mentioned before, there's an implicit threat of rape with that, because what if you want to say no? And that's kind of what we're shown at the beginning when she clearly is not comfortable with this guy that came up to her car. She signs his autograph and is nice to him and everything, but still he won't go away. And then he forcibly grabs her and kisses her. And this is a common thing that people kind of have to deal with in the real world for women, is if you're nice to a guy, you have to be nice because there is that implicit threat of violence. But at the same time, if you're too nice, you'll get the wrong vibe. And for a lot of guys these days, they don't have any interaction with women, and so the slightest bit of niceness can make certain guys become somewhat obsessed with women, and it's very scary. And I think that's kind of what the bus scene was trying to get across to a certain degree. And then I also think that there is this idea that the brain is kind of left somewhat open via the ear canal, and therefore it's kind of a literal penetration to the brain. And so to a certain degree, I found that there was a juxtaposition between that way of killing people and what happened to her as a younger kid, where her brain had to have this plate inserted into it. And so to me, there was some sort of kind of thing happening there, but I couldn't fully kind of grasp
Did
that
she
either.
because that scene where she kills the guy when she's sitting in the car and she stabs him she was running away from him, so
it seemed like it.
I don't know if she was luring him to the car specifically.
Maybe she knew that would have happened. Well, I don't think she lured him. I think he followed her regardless. But maybe she was doing that. Yeah, but if she had
stopped and just gave him the autograph, maybe think something worse.
No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. If she just stopped there. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, I think it just kept escalating. She's like, "Oh, well, he's here. I'll open the window and sign it." And then he's like, "Well, I actually love you." Oh, well, I'm actually
which is pretty psychotic.
Yeah. And then she pulls him in, and then she kisses him as well.
Well, so no, at first she pulls back for a solid 2 seconds, and then she realizes that she's not going to be able to pull away from the guy, and that's when she gives in, so that way she can have the ability to reach back and grab her pin and stab him in the ear.
Do you going back to the beginning, it's weird that there's one single small red spot that shows up on the window during the car accident. Do you think it's possible that the dad molested her in the car?
I mean, that is a possibility. I suppose
that might be her cherry breaking on the window.
I could see that.
I was thinking.
I could see that.
I thought about the opening in hindsight. Maybe the reason she was being so obnoxious was she wanted the car to crash, because then afterwards she's hugging the car, thank you for
saving me.
This crash. Saving me from my father, I guess. I don't know, but
because we don't know where the mom was
living with them.
Yeah.
Well, where was the mom during all this as well, right?
She wasn't in the house, I don't believe,
during the fire. Yeah. So, but the mom was there during the early day.
Yeah, she's in the bed. She burns her mother for some reason too.
Oh, okay. But did they show the mom in the bed, or are we just supposed to? It's implied that she was in the bed. Because I thought I just saw the dad. Yeah. But I think you're right, though.
Because he's the only one that got up and looked.
Yeah, I think you're right, though, that it implies it. I don't really know why she was able to lock the door from the outside as well.
Some doors, old houses have that.
That wasn't an old house, though. It didn't look like.
It didn't look like, I don't know. It was definitely weird for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I also, I don't know if this even shows up very well.
Nah,
not really. This was the first scene where the mum rocked up, and like half the screen's just covered in black, and that was where the father was sitting. And I thought that was interesting that like her mother comes in to kiss her in this scene, and then keeps cutting to the father and stuff.
Yeah, the father seems to be like the main feature.
It's just black.
For sure. Yeah, well, it could also be that, like, she didn't act... I mean, if we're going with the untrustworthy narrator bit, it could be possible that she didn't actually have the mother, and the mother was kind of like some sort of, like, thing that she made up in her brain in order to kind of keep her calm and sane and all this, like another female person to keep her there. So, but, like, generally speaking, I think that, Jason, though, with your point with the cherry pop thing... Obviously, that's a bit of a harsh thing to go for, but I think that definitely would make sense, and especially with the way that she was kind of like he was being very aggressive.
Yeah, when the mom said, "Oh, just have your father check your stomach."
Yeah, it's clear that that's something that happened before, but he was very uncomfortable with it this time, probably because
he felt extremely guilty.
Yeah, he's realized what's good. Yeah,
for sure. I think you're right, because in the hospital, she's glaring at her father the whole time.
Yeah.
So that's probably trying to imply that he did something.
100%. Yeah, I think so.
She does get the play in her head. It's hard to analyze now for me, knowing that the fucking director has said, like, it's not like the stuff that happens in the film.
I don't believe directors. That's the thing I'll say right now. Fuck every director. They don't know what their movie means. All right. So at the end of the day, the people that it says something at the end of the day. I don't think that taking this as a straight story makes much sense, especially with the surrealist aspects. It literally can't, you literally can't fuck a car and have a car baby. That can't literally happen
I think
incest baby.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that's how I would see it. Is just like a possible incest baby. That was the baby that she had with her father.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what Peter had mentioned earlier. That's why I mentioned the metal could be like a representation of that to a certain degree. That this is an amalgamation of something terrible as well as something obviously the human condition of having a child can be beautiful to a degree. So it's kind of an amalgamation of that. But what were you gonna say, Peter?
I was gonna say that's base, because I remember after I first saw Raw, I saw the first interview I saw, she was like, "Yeah, I don't like to explain my films, so I'm not gonna answer that question." And I just didn't read anything else. I was like, that's how you should be. Just don't explain anything. Let it speak for itself.
Absolutely.
So I don't know why random people on Reddit are like, well, the director said this, actually.
Yeah, because especially considering, it does have those surrealist elements, and if it was a straight story, then it would have just told a normal story, you know what I mean? And it is kind of stupid that I do prefer, like I said, David Lynch, for example, he every time is asked, he just refuses to say anything. And if I, get any big features out there, that's exactly what I'm going for. I'm not going to say shit. There is that beginning bit too where it goes through the credits and it kind of shows the engine. I'm guessing that this is supposed to be kind of hinting towards the mechanical nature that which she'll kind of go towards after she gets her implant. But with the go ahead.
If we follow Jason's idea that the father molests her, and the whole film shows cars as this metaphor for sexuality and stuff, then opening with showing the wet engine and all of that stuff could literally be her being molested, and then
I can see, and also I think
that might be why with the firefighter Vincent that she thinks she has to have sex with him because that's how she has.
Well, that's what I said earlier. When she goes and kisses, 100%. I do think that
all kind of feels like it might connect.
Well, that's why I said to Peter. Yeah, the second he said that, that all adds up to me, and because all the pieces fall into place with that. And here's the other thing. Why do they, if we're going to go with this and we take it to its logical conclusion, what is the plate in the head? If we're not going to go with something literal, it could literally be that there is either one, she was taken to the doctor and given some medication.
From the experience of
being also she goes to the doctor. Maybe the doctor didn't realize that she was molested and get put her on medication, etc. Like a lot of kids are. They're put on ADHD medication when they don't need it, antidepressants.
Because she seems to have, outside of the end, she seems to have the same emotion throughout.
She's very
numb.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's possible that could also be this trauma is literally wedged in her brain so deep that it's severed her human ties to what she sees as sexuality and love. For sure. I think that could be what that. What were you gonna say, Peter?
I was gonna say he must have done something, which is why they show the blood in the car, and also she ends up in the hospital. It must have been something more aggressive and violent to injure her, and the mother doesn't notice. The father's like, oh shit, and she's just glaring at him. And then throughout the rest of the film, her idea, I wonder what happened with the other killings, because it seems like her idea of sex is that it is also violence, and it literally takes like the literal thing these films do sometimes of like collating sex and violence and this stuff, and it's literally just like whenever she's doing something sexual, it becomes violent. Like the one other scene where she's like licking the nipple, she almost rips the fucking thing out as well.
For sure, that is true. And then on top of that, I think that the interesting thing that I thought too is that she lulled her victims into a sense of security, similar to how a father who molests their daughter might do, where she like literally, for example, the girl on the couch like had her all cuddled up and shit and then stabbed her. The only reason she went so violent on the guy was because he saw it. With the other guy that didn't know what was going on, the bigger dude, she goes up to him and literally hugs him, and you know what I mean, like these types of things. It seems like they are kind of these violent acts to her may genuinely be a sign of love, because that's what she was raised and socialized with, was somebody that abused her physically and sexually.
Yeah, like forcibly raped her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Leading to that. I could totally see that.
Like,
this scene, she's kicking the back of the seat, and then she gets up and then kind of turns towards the back of the window. And it seems like it kind of feel like that, even like when she sits there and is trying to get his attention and comes to like, I don't know what she's like trying to get him to
because they don't show. They just also the blood flying out of the window in that crash scene is so fucking crazy. That shit looks insane. She goes for something.
If you try to really take it to the most analytical sense, when they're driving, it could be her like mind of like, this is what happened, as opposed to what actually happened. She's like dealing with the trauma, and he keeps saying stop, 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 and then when she turns away, maybe that's like her, you know, turning away from what he's doing and like trying to get away, and then that's when she gets like blood everywhere, and then
And one thing I've said before, I don't remember if on this or not, but basically one thing about repressed memories is that repressed memories in psychology traditionally don't happen very often, and they're most common in severely sexually or physically abused individuals, and typically they have to be like sexually or physically abused severely from a super young age. And the theory goes that basically if you are, you know, between the ages of like fucking 0 and like at least 13 for the most part, you have to rely on your parents for shelter, for love, for care, for food, for pretty much everything, of course, that you require. But obviously, if you constantly have this memory and trauma replaying in your head, it's hard to be able to shut that off in order to reciprocate that, at least fakely, so you can get that food and shelter continuously. So what kids will do is they'll either A, repress those memories, or some of them B, do get dissociative identity disorder, where they're kind of create a split personality that is meant to protect the other individual from these thoughts and harbors all those thoughts in that other personality. So like definitely, like if we're going with that, I could totally see where like, again, and that's why I said untrustworthy narrator earlier would make sense with all the oil and all that other stuff, is that this is happening literally in a certain sense, but what she's seeing isn't the correct version of that. And so I think that would definitely play into what you're saying.
Typically people who have like complete mental breakdowns will shave their head like bald as a fresh new start. And like that's what she felt like she was trying to do, like a whole new life and stuff. Like at the end, like,
she did.
Yeah, and then she found a father that was an actual father.
Yeah, and cared for her, unlike her previous
she didn't
father.
know how to accept that. And she even tries to kill him.
Yeah, literally.
Because she's like, well, this isn't love, obviously.
Yeah, when they're just dancing around the kitchen and there's nothing sexual that occurs. Because, to her, she probably thought that he was lulling her in. Mm-hmm. And that's why at the end she also probably thinks she has to kiss him. Because she thinks, oh, this is something that he's been kind of leading me up to. Because, again, like I think in that Dolores Claiborne movie, one of the interesting things was the father at the end lulls the daughter in with ice cream. And it's this really simple thing that like turns to be super malicious. Mm-hmm. And that is how those molestation start. It's like, oh, I'm gonna lay in the bed with her because she has nightmares, and it goes from that to something to becoming a literal nightmare in the real
even
world.
The girl from Raw, when she basically meets
great
her,
actress.
She basically pulls on her nipple ring and
causes
her
the
extreme
hair.
pain
And doesn't care.
Yeah, and then but that's her way. She thinks that's her way of showing love is when,
it could be.
And then when she kind of denies that,
especially because she seems to have romantic feelings for this girl when she tries to have sex with her later on.
She thinks causing her pain is
would be something to bring her in.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
I think I know you guys didn't watch or didn't suffer through Dharma, and I got like the similar sort of vibe of like, I wonder if it's more just subconscious, because I think the way they portrayed that is he's like just so fucked up. He's like, well, everybody leaves me, so if I kill you, you can't leave me, which is sort of like, I like that they didn't necessarily delve into like, here's like 20 minutes explaining why she kills exactly the way that she does. I just inferred like, well, she's probably either fucked up because of this father stuff, or it's sort of like, I want someone that's not going to hurt me, and if you're dead, you can't really hurt me. Like, you're just
well, that plays into the cannibalist idea that we had mentioned when talking about Raw, is that a lot of cannibalist movies take it in the route of like, oh, well, if I eat you, you become a part of me and then you're with me eternally. Now, they didn't go with that in Raw. That does more happen kind of in Bones and all. The main thing that I really just still stand by not liking is the fact that they simply tease these car bits when there's so much more interesting shit hidden underneath. And then on top of that, the killing of the whole house just kind of takes away for me. Like, it first of all feels unrealistic. Like, first of all, the guy didn't hear everybody screaming and all this other fucking shit. She didn't get to call 911. She ran up to the bathroom. This fucking girl kills this huge dude that's like fucking a foot taller than her. None of that made sense, and it felt so gratuitous and so extra. It felt like I was watching a fucking action movie. I felt like I was in like the fucking scene from Kingsman where he's like putting poles through people's heads in the church. Like, it did not mesh with the rest of the movie, and that's again where you have this like thriller psychological horror, and then you go this slasher action movie, and then you go to a psych drama. If it knew what it wanted to be more and it was a bit more consistent, I think it would have been better off. Like, if it was a psych drama all the way through with maybe like we could have kept the murder at the beginning where she murders the guy in the car. We could have maybe even kept like the murder of the girl, but like cut out the whole bit of murdering the entire house, like cut out some of the other gratuitous parts and just make it like, and cut out some of the car parts, I would even say, and just make it a solid psych drama about familial bonds and potentially like a molestation metaphor. I think that would be far better.
Yeah.
Well, I think
now that you've seen both, fucking I don't remember that actress's name, but Justine.
Yeah.
Is Justine in both of them. Do you think it's the same character?
So I was thinking about that. It was funny that her name's Alexia, right?
Yeah, and then
and then we had Justine.
The son's name is
oh yeah, I forgot too. Adrian, there you go. Yeah.
Like it's all the same.
It is all the same names, which is definitely interesting. I think that like it probably isn't the same. I think it's fun though to theorize how like she went from vet school to maybe dropping out of vet school because what if her sister did and all that other shit. But then again, like that girl is a cannibal now. So, like, we'd have to think that if she did get her nipple bit, she might even be understanding of that because she was a cannibal before. So, like, at the end of the day, I think it's more just, like, using common names throughout. But I like I read some of the theories that tie them together. I think they're fun, for sure.
When she becomes basically a stripper, though, is it playing into kind of like the stereotypical thing that strippers are usually emotionally damaged?
Or like their dad wasn't there, or their dad molested them. Yeah, I think it kind of could
and I think the car is just there because it's meant to represent her idea of a sexual nature,
possibly.
Like environment.
And the hypersexualization is a thing that happens after molestation as well. Like, you can either become very prudish or be hypersexual.
I think I like. When I really, really think about it, I think, it's a misdirection by the narrator, like you were saying. I really think that's what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
because
think
you take it
it
as straight, like as a straight movie from front to end. It's just like it doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, it doesn't. But when you tie in all these like I think that as the three of us have solved this film. And if the director says we're wrong, then I will fight them. All right, we will have a debate and we will figure it out. Because this definitely 100% seems like that. So go ahead.
I'm very intrigued by the fact that this is a thing in France. These like sex shows with cars, like we have car shows here.
Oh, that's a thing. I thought that was fake.
It is.
Wait, no,
I assume that's why it's in the film.
I mean, car shows in America are definitely not like that. I'll tell you that right now.
Hold on, let me look up car stripper show. I'm gonna figure this out, guys. Go ahead, continue talking. I'll figure this out.
Fast and Furious is a thing, so I figured like, it's probably just similar to that. Okay, I mean, the only other film I've seen with stripping. The only other films I've seen with cars is Fast and Furious, and they always have fucking beautiful women on the cars. So I was like,
the difference is that we have what's called car meetups. So car meetups are going to be illegal street meetups where like you can either go to a real race or whatever, but like if you go to the car meetups, usually it's going to be like it's a street race. Usually it'll be a drag race or you'll have some sort of set thing. And then obviously you might get arrested. And then people do donuts and all that other shit. But basically like dudes will bring girls out there, or girls that like cars will come out there and they'll be like half naked. It's like a rave. And so basically, like, they'll usually also have one of the girls to drop the flags, especially if it's a drag race or something like that. So for the most part, that's why we have those in Fast and Furious.
And Furious would crash.
That would be base. We're doing it. We're doing it. But I think that, like, for the most
part, 180
180
miles per hour. That's when she comes in the passenger seat.
That's ridiculous. So I think for the most part, that's why like we have it in Fast and Furious, because it's supposed to represent that. But like as far as like strip clubs go with cars in it, that'd be sick.
There's a lot of drifting in Japan, because a lot of their cars are front wheel drive instead of rear wheel drive. So, and for drifting, you need a front wheel drive car. And so that's why it's very big in Japan, because what is it? I think it's Hondas. But those cars typically will have front wheel drive.
Okay, well, I'm looking here. I can't find any strip clubs in France that have cars, but I did find a 1-star review that said never go to strip clubs, and goes on a rant about how he was robbed of money. So shout out that guy who got robbed in France.
I know like showgirls are a thing at like shows when they show off like the new
like Pussycat Dolls is a real thing still, I believe currently.
I think Pussycat Dolls are still
it wasn't just a band.
Maybe someone in Europe has to let us know in the comments, because like to my understanding of Europe, which is very limited, I wouldn't be surprised if they took like the Western car show and they're like, well, the girls there are hot, why don't we just have them dance? Like, it's not too...
No, in Amsterdam, that's how their car shows are. Well, that's because, I mean, why not? You got the red light district there.
It just feels so cyberpunk.
Great for advertising.
It just feels so cyberpunky. It feels like I would believe Japan would do it before I believe Europe.
Some type of cyberpunk type movie, but not directly from cyberpunk, just something inspired by that.
Why not? Inspired by it. No, but you could have a great movie within the cyberpunk universe.
No, that's true, but
there's a lot of great characters.
You would have to get the licensing and all that stuff.
I'm sure we can get it. I'll hit up the guy. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, Keanu.
No, Keanu does not own it. It's a nice black man who made it in 19. Wow, you're gonna take a great IP away from a black man that worked hard on that and give it to a white guy?
What?
Is that what you're about to do?
No.
Okay, well there we go.
Keanu's Asian, so he is.
No, he's white, and then he has a little bit of Asian.
He is Asian.
He's white, and he has a little bit of Asian.
I don't know.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
He's too nice to be white. So.
Okay. So I think that we pretty much have gone through the majority of it. Was there anybody else got any final points on it?
I think after talking about it, I think I like it. I still don't really love it,
but I
like
2.
it more. Because I was ready to give it a 2 out of 5.
Honestly. Oh, okay. So yeah, you were going pretty low.
Yeah. I still think Bones and All is still my top.
Would you prefer Raw or this one?
I would prefer Raw's a lot shorter. I feel like.
Is it? I think it's like 10 minutes shorter.
10 or 20 minutes.
10, I think.
Okay, so but it feels a lot shorter than this. Because, and I think the reason is because it feels like two films in one. But if you're not looking at it, like I said, as like a straight movie through, it's more. Raw is easier to analyze, I believe, than Titane. Because Titane has so many different variables that
but I think that still a lot of it is just not good. Because especially, here's the problem that I have, right? Is that especially with the director saying that, I'm pretty sure we're not actually right. Like, I'm just joking. And that this is what we've made up. And this is the problem, is usually when I tend to analyze stories, or we tend to analyze stories, like especially when I go in with Tim or you guys, what ends up happening is we usually make connections that aren't there, that the director did not intend, but make the movie a million times better, right? So like this movie on its own is not good, in my opinion. It's like a 2.5. It's not terrible, but it's not like, it's just a decent film.
Yeah, like, I would say it's probably a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, that's fair. Like that's pretty much what mine is a 2.5 out of, or a 2.5 out of 4. So it's like, yeah, for me, I feel like the problem is this sounds like something that we're probably adding, but it makes a lot of sense, and it makes the whole film so much better because it takes all the points that really don't say much and don't really mean much and kind of gives them some way to fit in. So that's, for the most part. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be interesting to see threefold, like, once I've watched more Cronenberg and Bones and All and stuff, my thoughts. It'll be interesting if you guys or Rocky ever watch it again, whether it's more enjoyable, because I definitely got more out of it the second time around.
Okay.
I think on the point of taking more out of it, I'm definitely like looking to analyze stuff, but I think there's definitely, like, I don't know 100% if my interpretation is right. Even with Raw could be completely different to what we ended up coming up with. But I think there's definitely stuff there with how, like, I mean, Raw was what, 2015?
2016,
2016. So if you spent like 5 years writing a film that's this dense, I think there's definitely intent behind everything. And the fact that originally, I don't care what she says now, but originally she said she doesn't explain her films. Yeah. That to me just speaks to, like, there is very deep stuff here that she has thought of, whether it's good or not.
Then maybe like she like knows people personally, and she doesn't want to bring things up. But here's, because it feels like something that's written from a really deep place.
But the thing is I can show Raw to somebody that is just a mild horror fan, and they can come out liking it. There are normies that like it. I would have to show somebody with our level of movie analysis to have them understand and like this film, and that's what I look at.
You know what that kind of reminded me a little bit of, especially once the Titanium started showing that, is Iron Man. I can't remember the director's name that did the Iron Man.
Tetsuo's the Iron Man. Yeah.
It reminded me a little bit of that.
There was a little bit metal fetishization. I can see that as well, for sure.
Well, there's definitely like a distinct difference, because Raw was like very commercially successful, whereas I think this was very much successful at like Cannes and TIFF and stuff like that, very much in the like critic community as opposed to like a lot of actual moviegoers watching it.
Well,
that's it definitely like
go ahead.
It's one of the few films that I've seen where like the fucking baby birth scene with the like orchestral music at the end, like the Raw ending was very much like it kind of had a massive ending, and then it kind of petered off with like the mother and the father talking and stuff, whereas this one ended like with this fucking massive orchestral thing, the baby reveal, and then the title, and it was very much like the festival, everyone's like, very good.
Yeah, it was. I can understand like a crescendo, and I think that's the issue, is that there is a lot of really pretentious aspects to the critic community, and I think that's why so many people don't trust them, is because this is why with like
Tar's a piece of shit.
Yeah, literally,
exactly. Tar is the worst fucking film I've ever seen.
Fuck that movie. Life. And here's the thing: if I went back and I finally
rather watch
finished
Pink Flamingos again than that fucking
absolutely.
Movie.
And I went back and I finished Tar, and it's like, look, I can sit here and I can analyze Tar, and I can actually get to some really interesting things. But the fact that I had to sit through one of the most boring pieces of fucking shit doesn't mean that it can be saved
12-minute
because it has some good analyzation. Yeah, fucking there was a 4-minute credit opening, and then it goes into a 13 15-minute
shits
dialogue
on
interview.
Video game music.
At the end, yeah, the whole
It's all
fucking thing is
pretentious. It's all fucking
That's the
pretentious.
thing.
It's meant to fucking smell your farts and enjoy
again,
the fucking smell.
Yeah, and
It's
there
all
might be
bullshit.
decent ideas behind it, but Infinity Pool, another one.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You're
Brandon
soulless.
Cronenberg
You don't have any
is-
fucking purpose.
Yeah.
You're using.
He's lucky
You're
he's related to
invoking.
David Cronenberg, because I would not have fucking
You're
cared
invoking
about it.
imagery with no real
haven't-
reason to invoke it, and that's what pisses me off. Go ahead.
I haven't seen Infinity Pool, but yeah, Tar was not as good as everyone hyped it up to be. But I do like watching these type of films. Like I watched The Square, which is very out there. But
Wait, what is
The
that?
Square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
go
it
on.
about?
Fucking great question. It's like a museum director coming up with an idea for his next big art piece.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of like a lot of different scenes. The thing is, I didn't like it, but like by the end of it, I was like, I can see that there's like a lot of stuff in this. I can see that it's like put together well. I just didn't connect with it. And I liked his most recent film, Triangle of Sadness, was like my favorite film of last year.
Oh wait,
But
I hadn't
The
heard of
Square
that.
I
You
just
told us
didn't
that.
get.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the thing.
I really like Triangle of Sadness, but
Okay.
like The Square, I just didn't. It just, I felt like it. I didn't even feel like it just went over my head. It was just one of those films, where I just like, same with Tar. I just watched it and I was like, I just don't understand. I see like good direction, good acting and stuff, but I'm just not enjoying it. I'm just not getting it.
Yeah, and I think that is. I do think it is because you can have like these really. For example, here's the thing. There's some movies I'd watch from the 1960s that I would say are good and were probably even amazing back in the day.
Knife in the Water is still with my in me, like my.
But
brain,
it's kind of a boring film though. When
Yeah.
you're watching it,
Yeah,
it's
no, yeah.
slow, but it's a great
But somehow
movie.
it keeps me awake and I'm
No,
interested throughout.
it's a great movie, and I love it. But you and I like those slow, older films, right?
Yeah, I mean, Roman Polanski's one of the greatest directors.
100%.
He's
But-
a terrible fucking human.
Yeah,
being.
he's a bad guy. But that's the thing is like there are movies that I would say aren't exactly the most fun movies.
Yeah.
But that's okay because there's still a Knife in the Water has stuck with me as well. It's an amazing movie. Or Persona
Yeah,
is
it
another
doesn't always
slow
have
one.
to be fun.
Well, that's why we need to watch
Yeah.
Persona. Persona is another one that is super stuck with me since I watched it. But it's a slow burn. And honestly, one of the things in Persona, for example, is they have this like basically pornographic scene, but it's never shown because it's the 1960s, so she just speaks it, and it creates such a clear fucking image in my head that I was like, holy shit, this is more pornographic than porn. So like there's certain parts of that I like about older films that they're a little
we
more
watched
withdrawn.
that. What was it? Love Potion #9 or something. It came out like 2010s, and we watched it like fairly recently.
What was it about?
It was like this brunette witch lady who.
Oh
makes-
no, the love witch.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that
its.
movie.
I didn't
that
like
movie.
it.
I
I
like
don't
that
like
movie.
that film.
Yeah,
I
I like
think
that
it's
It was it's a cheesy. I look at it as a shocky film.
okay.
If you look at it as a shocky film, I think it
I guess
can come out
yeah.
different.
And
And that's why it has the whole Technicolor thing, where it's got the 1980s like grain and all that stuff. Because
It
it's
should
supposed
just be
to
a
be
genre.
shocking.
You should just be able to say shock.
Yeah, I know it is kind of a genre.
I know what it is.
Yeah, I know,
Because
100%.
I think that's a big issue when it comes to like people watching movies. If
They
you don't
don't
know
know
what
what
the genre is or what it's trying
Dude.
to be, it's you're like somebody could like I can watch Fast and the Furious and be like, this is a piece of shit.
100%.
Like that's a fucking terrible movie. But when you watch something like somebody who maybe not into movies as much as we are can
Yeah.
watch Knife in the Water and think it's terrible. But for me, I think it's a great storytelling throughout the
Yeah,
entire
well, because
film.
when we look at it, it has this slow build up, and then also it has a story that we can add a lot of meaning to and context behind. So even though it's slow,
or
it tells
Eraserhead's
something.
kind of slow. At the
Eraserhead
beginning.
is exactly
It builds up.
But
to,
the
like,
thing
yeah.
is all those old movies were actually kind of slow, and I feel like that's the thing that we've gotten is
yeah, we
these
need
days
to
we
be
have this
satisfied
ADHD.
instantaneously, and I think I blame Marvel because it's always
Sure,
been
yeah.
fucking like
The
that.
bright
where-
colors,
Yeah, immediately
the-
within the first 10 minutes, oh boom, here's something great.
Yeah,
like every 10
100%.
minutes is something.
Every 2
grand
minutes
has to
there's a
happen.
joke. Every 5 minutes there's a new scene. Every 3
Yeah,
minutes there's
That's
this.
why I still haven't seen it, but I'm sure that's probably why everybody loves Logan. It may feel slow at times, but it's probably it all builds up to something.
100%. And real quick, Alfred Hitchcock had, I can't remember if it was Vertigo or if it was one of his other films, but
even
basically
Birds is kind of slow.
Birds is slow, but again, and that's
Psycho?
but that's the thing is too is you and like we love old movies. Most people don't like old movies, so we can get something from that that like other people just don't seem to do. But Alfred Hitchcock had this movie, and we went into it, and we had just watched Birds, and Birds is such a good fucking movie about human nature and how people can have these kind of freak out moments and cause their own hell
I think
to
there
arrive.
was a true event.
It was in Bodega Bay apparently, and there were birds that were like coming down and attacking people. Apparently it was from
what the fuck is that?
Dude, apparently it was from these this algae that had poison in it, and it got into the
zombie birds.
Yes, and they were attacking people, and then this has happened 3 times over there in Bodega Bay, 2 hours from here.
Wait, I think they should fucking fix that.
They probably should, but they won't. So we go from watching Birds into this other movie, and basically it was about this necktie killer. And I thought, like, oh, okay, so this is going to be a horror movie. As we're watching it, it's like really fucking weird, and there's this like all this weird shit happening where this guy kind of just escapes justice, but then there's this other barkeep, and he's talking about how this other guy's knocking around the tits of the barkeeper, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you saying right now? It was so weird. But then once we get into it, and then there's like this
Rear Window is that.
Oh, that's another good one.
I really like that.
That one was really good for sure. But
North by Northwest we didn't see.
We did, but we didn't finish it. That was the spy one. But basically, he in that movie, what I realized like 30 to 45 minutes in, halfway through the film, was that this is a dark comedy.
Yeah.
And when I realized that, and I looked back at it, and then I looked it up on Wikipedia, it said that it's a satirical black comedy, and I was like, oh shit, well now I have to re-look at this entire film, and when I readjusted that, I was like, oh, okay, this all makes a lot more sense. So definitely, yeah, having things like schlock and all that other stuff be more heavily defined probably would be better for like the audiences going in, so they kind of know what they're getting.
Yeah, like you imagine going to see Sweeney Todd and think you're seeing another Rent.
That's another one that can be kind of like a little kind of like
a
slow.
dark comedy.
Yeah, and it's also kind of like slow at points where like he's kind of like creepy and dancing around.
Yeah, he doesn't
and all
kill
that,
right away.
No, he
it's
doesn't.
a slow build up to it.
But those are the best horrors.
And he kills
usually.
Sacha Baron Cohen in that movie. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
man.
that's
Anytime
true.
that you kill
that
Sacha
is true.
Baron
It's
Cohen
always
in a movie,
based.
it's great.
100%. But yeah, this yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, 2 things. I saw, and we said the same thing with the Raw, and I saw it in a lot of the reviews for this after I was logging it today. A lot of people, again, thought this one was funny. Like, Raw and Titane I didn't find funny, but some people are finding them funny as
The
fuck.
dance was comical. I agree that the dance was a dark comedy thing. That's what I tried to tell Jason.
I just felt uncomfortable.
In Titane here, when at the end when she's like dancing on top of the fire truck, like that to me was supposed to be.
And then the dad, Vincent.
I thought you were talking about when the dad started just like.
No.
Oh,
that I don't think was.
Yeah, that was more like a father.
Yeah, that's more like he was just trying to like have like fun and be like a dad that's kind of trying to connect, especially because in France like kissing and all that is so.
That's
much
why I
more
also don't
accepted.
think it has something to do with trans. Is just because when I saw that scene, I felt like this was a father-daughter dance.
Yeah, I could see that too.
And that's something that, again, like
and
I
he didn't
believe
care
her
about her
father
gender.
probably molested her, and then all these things that he's doing, Vincent's doing or whatever, are things that a father should be doing with their daughter.
Yeah, well, and also she didn't know who she was. Like she didn't know, and that's where I think the identity part can come into. Is like she didn't know if her being a killer is who she was, or if her fucking cars is who she was, or if she was a dancer. Like she had all these different personalities.
Which is why she just makes up
really
well, she takes an identity.
Exactly.
Because she's like,
yeah,
I
that's
don't
why
want to
I
be
think
this
the
person
identity,
anymore.
and that's why I think the identity connection is valid.
Yeah, and that's why I think all the killings in the house was so overdone.
Exactly. There's so much of this that takes away from the actual film, and unless you have like the extra analysis on top of it, I feel like the average audience member is not going to get much out of this film. You have to be like a critic who like really is into it.
Or you just got to be very good at
analyzing films. Yeah, for sure. But to a degree, I think that if this film had like some, and I think probably because she probably had all sorts of cash. She had a successful first film. She was like, I mean,
she was a
we're
celebrity.
Going all
she
out.
Probably had money, right? Like, well, she felt like a celebrity when she getting all these autographs or
for
whatever.
sure.
But that could have actually been instead of the autographs, think of it like people paying her for a lap dance.
Sure, yeah, for sure.
Something like, yeah,
and also what I meant was like the director, like after Raw, like she had all sorts of money from doing Raw, and that was her first film, I believe. And so now when she went to this one, she had a good actress already under her belt from Raw, that girl, and then she had probably a lot more funding for this film. So my guess is that she just like probably
project.
Yeah, she probably had a vision, and she probably kind of went for it. And like my guess is that, and this is always my beef. No director should ever have like top to bottom control unless you're like Martin Scorsese. Like you're putting hit after hit after hit.
Shouldn't have
For example, Taika
control?
should not have full control. And most directors, not even just Taika, like 99% of directors, when they're really allowed to just go all out, they go too crazy. David Lynch, when he went to Inland Empire for
Sam Raimi does pretty good.
Well, so again, there's some of them that they just pop bangers.
The third one was the studio fucking with them and saying, no, Sandman can't be the main character.
No,
even though
I
he
agree.
had the best fucking story.
And then Doctor Strange, they like apparently interfered in his shit.
Yeah,
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I was gonna say when Jason mentioned Logan before, and now that you're bringing up this stuff, I feel like fucking Disney is just so shit. How do you get? Because Logan was fantastic, but I also really liked Ford v Ferrari, which was his second film, and then he does Dial of Destiny, and like Sam Raimi makes great films, and then he comes back to do Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Like Taika has had some fucking good films, yet Thor, dog shit. Like all these, it must be fucking Disney doing something. There's some fucking poison there where they can't release a good film. Like.
They're so fucking nervous about allowing directors to have complete control because they need to constantly control the narrative.
Here's the thing, though. But you actually, that's the more bigger point. They can have complete control, and they can't. No director can single-handedly have complete control because it has to be tied into 12 other films. Right, so when you have one film that needs to be tied to 12 other films, well, it's like with James Gunn. We need you to have Adam in there. We need you to have this character. If you don't add him in there, you're not allowed to do the film.
Make it about Rocket.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the problem is when you have all this other shit that it has to apply to, and you also have to take all the rules that have been previously set up
in the film.
No, it doesn't.
You can watch it a million times. He doesn't fit.
Yeah.
The more I've been thinking about Guardians 3, it's so crazy how they just like ruined. Like, it's very clear in hindsight, 1, 2, 3, the plot being set up.
Yep.
And then in 3, there's so much missing, especially with the, like, Nebula relationship. Like, that clearly would have been in the film if they hadn't have just fucking come in and endgamed everything. Like, yeah, and someone else was pointing out, which I didn't even think of, and I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I saw on Reddit, someone said, like, Guardians 3 should have been the first time Peter went to Earth, but he goes to Earth in one of the Avengers films, apparently.
Does he?
I can't think of the scene, but someone was saying how like dumb it is.
Oh, I can't
think of
because I can't remember. I know he goes to meet up with
the
Thanos.
I played the video game that's based directly on the comic books, and he does return to Earth. At some point.
But the comics are obviously pretty different.
The portals.
Yeah,
he's there on Earth for that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is weird. And he like comes back down to like he's literally. I guess that's the thing. He's been on Earth. He went to the funeral, and then he comes back to Earth, and he's like, "Oh, I'm finally back on Earth to visit my family." But it's like you were here for Tony's funeral. You could have like driven up the road to your grandfather.
100%. That makes
he has a spaceship. I'm pretty sure it gets there pretty quick.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's the problem is that you have such like when you get too big for your britches, like that's the problem is there's just nothing you can do anymore because no single director can have everything. The only thing you can do is have Feige or whatever at the fucking top calling down these shots, but obviously that's not working either because nothing is getting fixed.
Yeah, that's why it's really rare that I enjoy like more a mainstream film nowadays. I really enjoy more of the indie films because that's where the stories are at. Obviously you have rare things like Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse, or Barbie was really good, Oppenheimer. But it's like this year has been one of those years. It's probably one of the best years for cinema.
For sure,
but that was the same thing with video games this year.
Yeah, video games have been pretty solid.
Next year,
the industry is like so depressing when you actually cover everything though. Like, I didn't want to cover it on the podcast last week, but like you guys have seen like all the coverage coming out of Across the Spider-Verse, how like the directors were like abusive and like promoting poor work conditions and stuff.
I mean, here's the thing: is I didn't see that, but I already knew that to be the case because here's the problem: is that these films, especially, I mean, if you watch any of the behind-the-scenes footage on how the fuck they did the Into the Spider-Verse, Beyond the Spider-Verse, like it was fucking psychotic. Like how they like framed everything, how many frames they did, how they would animate different characters on different frames with different fucking styles, and then they would have totally separate frames layered on top of each other, meaning that like for one individual frame you might need 3-4 different people to create an individual work just to pile
if you're
on
paying
top.
them hourly, that's fine, but every single one of those people's salary
100%. You get 50 grand a year, you're working 12 hours a fucking day.
I don't even see my family anymore. This is your
get
family
50
now.
grand and be happy. You get to be you get your name in the credits. Be fucking happy.
Unless you're all working with Christopher Nolan, then you work out special
then you don't
effects.
get credits. You'll be in it, but you won't get credits.
You don't get the credits at all.
Exactly. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous the level of like necessity that is in what it takes to like make a good game or movie these days, and especially animation. It just takes so long that that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah, and there's the director for Barbie. I can't remember her name right now.
Greta Gerwig.
Yeah, Greta Gerwig. Everybody says they loved work on the film with her. She's one of those directors that she's fun to work with. Yeah. She like loves making sure that everybody is comfortable and and that's appreciated.
Well, yeah.
I'm mad. I felt like David Lynch and Cronenberg, even though they have this tough outer like exterior, they seem like they hate everyone.
Complain.
No.
Never seen it. Like Kristen Stewart, even who's complained about certain people in the past, and isn't that?
I mean, we know Michael Bay is a Nazi.
Yeah, Michael Bay is 100%
Megan
a
Fox.
Nazi. Now, ignore the fact that Spielberg, a Jew, got her fired after that. Let's not acknowledge that. We'll just say Michael Bay is a Nazi, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you find.
Yeah, it's like there's so little that's untainted. I think Barbie's like the film of the year that has the least tainting on it.
Yeah.
And then it's so successful that Warner Brothers is going to make like 10 fucking shitty movies. So
of course, 9.
Great.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah, they always take the wrong idea from their success.
Do you like this? Why don't we shove it down your throat 50,000 more times? Why don't you like it anymore?
I mean, you don't even need a sequel to Barbie. I felt like it ended perfectly fine.
They're not doing a sequel.
They're doing a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the kids at the school?
Oh no.
Yeah, the kids at the school are the brats.
Oh my! What?
And they're making a Bratz.
No, they are not making a Bratz. Okay.
Yeah, the kids at the school are like Chloe,
dude.
Jasmine. Chloe, Jasmine. They've got the same names and hairstyles as the Bratz dolls.
Okay, well, if somehow the movie gets deleted out of existence,
what was that one show that was like Bratz or Monster High?
Oh God, please!
Yeah, is that going to be introduced?
I hope to God not. Please don't get a live action.
Monster High, and it's so bad.
It is. It's terrible, dude. All the Bratz show was terrible. The Barbie show,
through like 5 or 6 Bratz movies, and they're all
I feel
fucking shit.
Dude,
they don't even have animation. Like, are there any? And there's no animators on the set of Bratz. They're just like
it's like VeggieTales animation.
Yeah,
it's like really bad.
Dude, my little cousin always loved the Barbie show too, and there's like such fucking terrible.
At least Barbie has.
I like Care Bears. Care Bears cartoon when I was a kid growing up.
The Bratz, but there's also the Bratz cartoon as well. Like all of those cartoons have the worst voice acting I have ever heard in my life. It's so funny.
Getting like way too deep now, but like at least the Barbie movies, there's like the Mary Posa one and the one where she's underwater. Like they have some good stories.
Mm-hmm. And they're more interesting. Right. The show though is what I'm talking about specifically. The show is terrible. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
There's like a million shows as well.
Yeah, dude, I swear. No, there's that. But no, the worst thing.
You seen G.I. Joe crossover with Transformers.
Dude, can you please just kill me? Can somebody put me out of my misery?
I saw that the other day too.
Oh no, Jason called.
Did you watch the movie?
No.
Or,
did you watch Transformers?
I watched the movie.
Yeah. Okay. So Jason.
I like the actor a lot. I really like the main actor a lot. I'll just say that he's amazing. I want to see him in better things than than Transformers.
Yeah.
And Pete Davidson was amazing.
Rocky, your John Cena is my Pete Davidson. I cannot stand him.
Really?
I love
much.
No, I don't mind Pete Davidson.
King
I
of
thought
Staten
his voice
Island
worked
is
there. No,
I love that.
Big Time
movie.
Adolescence. Watch Big Time Adolescence if you still hate him. I mean, he's kind of plays a heel, but like it's a really fucking good movie. And also it has Sydney Sweeney in it from Euphoria, and she's pretty good as well. That was a fantastic movie. I love that movie.
Oh, yeah. Mrs. Invisible.
Yeah.
Well, King of Staten Island has Bill Burr.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, you said that one was really good. Yeah, but
King of Staten Island, the one that's about, isn't there one about his life?
Yeah, that it is. That's
I think the trailer. Yeah.
Yep, that's King of Staten Island.
So I need to bring up an important thing right now. So basically, there's a running, you could call it a joke, I suppose, right? That basically we have, and I think we might have discussed this during one of the watch logs, but Jason, Tim, me, and probably you, Peter, have this capability to say a thing while watching a film. No, it's true. It's factual. I'm sorry that you realize where this is going and you don't like it, but this is true. So basically,
hang on.
No. Let me finish the story, and then you can. Okay,
unless
that's fine.
The musical.
That's fine. That's fine. The Cats, the musical, and movie are terrible. I will give you that. So basically, we have this capability that if we say something while watching a film, we can change the way that the outcome of the film goes. Now, I don't have any scientific evidence that this is the case.
Usually, I feel a little earthquake,
but
it's
sure,
like a point two.
Sure, yeah, like you could just tell that there's something off. And so basically, and this has happened through me saying like, oh, there's gonna be more women, and then all of a sudden women appear. Tim said like, oh, they're gonna jump off the roof, and then they do.
So,
and it doesn't logically follow.
We watched a movie, Jules,
called Jules. Have you heard of this movie?
Ben Kingsley's in it.
Okay, Ben Kingsley's in. Do you know who Ben Kingsley is?
Yeah. It's actually a really good movie.
It's a really good movie, and I really like it. Ben Kingsley has very good range.
Yep.
And he is very good at playing both like
one of the big reasons
grandpa.
why I love Iron Man 3, and a lot of people don't, but I don't mind the character Ben Kingsley plays.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of stupid to do that to the Mandarin,
and
but
they
it was
have
funny.
PTSD in there, which is done really well with Tony Stark.
Yeah, I
which
so
I
too,
appreciated a lot.
Yeah, and Ben Kingsley plays.
But that film, obviously, actually, Secret Invasion kind of made it fit into the overall universe now. Yeah.
But so basically, we're watching.
The image for Jules is fucking hilarious, by the way.
What is it?
The first thing that came up is a fucking alien wearing a shirt that says "I'm not a lesbian."
Oh, dude, that's so good.
Yeah,
this movie was really wholesome and really funny and really good. There was this guy, Ben Kingsley, an alien crash lands in his backyard. He goes to his town meeting and he tells them like, "Hey, like this spaceship landed in my backyard," and everybody laughs at him and doesn't believe him until one day this other lady that like he met at the town meeting comes over, sees the alien, and is like, "Oh shit, you were telling the truth. Like you can't let other people come." He just lets her walk in the house. Like, he doesn't say anything to her about the alien.
What's the flower?
Azaleas.
Yeah, he took out my azaleas.
But yeah, a spaceship crash landed in my backyard and took out my azaleas.
Should also put a stop sign between
A and B Street.
Yeah,
100%. And so like you have this funny thing where it's this guy. He's almost like this older guy from Up, but he's not as grouchy. He's so much nicer. And like you can tell he's a good guy. He lets this lady in and he doesn't even say anything about the alien, and she realizes, oh, he's telling the truth. And then from there she's like, okay, well, we need to hide this. I'll help you hide it. And as the alien goes on, at first he's scared of the alien, but then he lets the alien in. It's super friendly and it's just trying to fix its spaceship. There's like it's really like family friendly and wholesome. There is one part though.
The whole movie.
No. It was supposed to be that way. There was only one scene that was normally.
Well, hang on.
Hold on. I'm going to the scene about
the first picture.
No, we never got. Let me go to this part first. So there's the friend, for example, that he meets and is like, "Oh, I'll help you hide the alien." She sets up this thing where she wants to have like the youth connect with older generations to kind of fill the generational gaps.
And she also, I think, has a thing for his character. I think she likes him.
Yeah, I think she likes him romantically.
And I think he's just so like. I think his wife died, and
he's sad. Also, he has like early stages of dementia. Ben Kingsley's character, and that's kind of going through, and like he has a strained relationship with his daughter and doesn't really hear from his son.
Think, 2 other kids.
His son, just his son.
Yeah,
and his son he doesn't hear from anymore. So it's like this really heartbreaking thing where it's like, and it's cool too because he like says like, oh, he's probably just busy. My son's probably just busy, and it's this moment where you know something happened.
Yeah, he's
between
just making
them.
that up in his head.
Yeah, because he knows that he probably doesn't deserve to talk to him based off whatever happened.
Yeah, whatever
right?
might happen.
Exactly. And so there's this great shit, and then like for example, one of the worst kind of most intense scenes, not worst, but most intense scenes is the lady friend. She wants to set up this thing to fill the generational gaps, and this guy calls her, this like 25-year-old comes over to her house, and they're having coffee or tea, and then the guy says, oh, I'm gonna go use your bathroom. During this process he starts to rob her, and she goes up and realizes, and she goes and like, oh, I'm gonna go call the cops, and he's like he like attacks her immediately, and he starts choking her. Jules the alien sees this like vision of like this happening, and then pops the guy's head. They don't show the head popping at all. It cuts, but there is blood when the cops show up, and so like it's like, and they're like, so his head just exploded, and it's like this kind of funny
like,
thing.
Do you think I had the ability
to explode his head? Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah.
So basically, what happens is the Jules draws these pictures, and it is like these cute pictures of cats.
Yeah,
like a cat face. And so all of a sudden, Jason, on a second picture that comes through to
like
Casey, there's like 9 cats,
10,
and Jason says, "Oh, they have to kill all those cats to get the spaceship working." And I said, I didn't even acknowledge it. I was like, that's like psychotic. Who would even say such a thing? And I was just like, yeah, that's ridiculous. Sure. And not 10 minutes later, Jules brings back a smushed cat that was just ran over in the middle of the most wholesome, family-friendly film I have seen all year. And it is revealed that she does, the alien does need like 9 cats in order to fuel its spaceship, literally word for word, bar for bar, what Jason specifically said. And here's the other thing, is the implication of that means that somehow on this alien planet, they have a genocide of cats going on simply to fill their fucking spaceships. And also, they literally have one of the friends that knows about the aliens has a cat that's like, she loves it so much. It's like her baby. It's on its last legs. It's kind of towards the end of life. And basically, Jules fucking kills this lady's cat in order to fuel the fucking thing. Then it was going to pop its head.
Yeah, she's like, okay, go ahead and explode its head.
And I was like, this is so fucked up, Jason. What did you do? And I am 100% convinced that that film was not going to be like that until Jason said that. When Jason said that, those cats are going to...
I just understood what the alien was trying to express.
Can you please tell me how that logically follows?
Because I was like, okay, like, what's its fuel source? Okay.
Maybe... No. We don't... It was just taking a picture of a cat. There was nothing about fuel. It didn't draw a little spaceship. It just drew 9 cats and handed it over.
It just got this
There is
feeling,
no logical connection. No, I can't. So anyway, basically me and Tim have talked. We might have to call upon the celestial beings in order to come down and take Jason's powers. I don't know. He's using them for evil now. So that's where we're at with that one. But besides that was that Jules is a good movie though. I will say that. I liked the Jules. So
yeah, we were also
any other film bit things?
Kind of part way through like this movie TerraVision, which
well, we also have the Pod Generation with Emilia Clarke, although that's not rated very highly, but I thought it looked interesting. And we have
Emilia Clarke.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I think I might.
Emilia Clarke is the real life Titane.
What? No. Wait, she get in an accident?
Yeah. Well, she almost died.
Oh, I did not. Like Kanye West?
Yeah, kind of.
Dude, Kanye's that way. Dude, that's why Kanye is the way he is. Wait, that's why Kanye is the way he is.
Yeah,
right?
You have to clip that. Just like the fucking 1 second of Rocky. Like, haha. Wait, really?
Yeah. Oh no, I'll definitely get that. We've been trying to use more sound bites lately, so I'll have to find that.
She did like an interview a year after Game of Thrones, which I thought was like, I don't know. I think it was Damage Control, where she was like, I have like a issue with my brain from an accident, so I had trouble on set like memorizing the script.
Yeah, I thought she had some disease or something, because I remember reading that, but I thought she just like, I don't know what I thought actually. I just thought she had some sort of like illness that was causing her issues, but
it's not like
I think she got the accident on Game of Thrones.
She
had an accident on Game of Thrones that caused her severe brain injuries.
That's what it was. Yeah,
well,
I might be mistaken.
I thought she just had like a degenerative thing that was fucking her brain, but
Because I think she said she got multiple concussions on that show.
Yeah, oh, she had 2 aneurysms. That's right. On during the shooting.
That gives her aneurysms.
Yeah. So it probably because here's the thing is usually aneurysms are a sign of
the last season's so bad.
Oh Jesus! That Pod Generation had a budget of $20 million and made $33,000.
Dude, well, it went straight to streaming though. It didn't release.
That's because people don't really care about Amelia Clark.
No. Well, it also has Chadwick Nwigi. I can't say his name. He's very, very good.
Okay.
But it's Nwigwe. Okay. It's like an African name. I can't speak. But basically, it looks good. Go ahead.
Chaos Walking?
No.
Nah.
Oh, you gotta add that on the list. Okay. I was talking to Tim about that, and he I was telling him how it was the worst film I'd ever seen, and he looked it up and he was like, "Oh, I've seen this. I completely forgot about it because it's so forgettable."
Oh, Tom Holland. I've seen the trailer for this.
He forgot about it, and it stars Daisy Ridley. So.
I remember this trailer. Yeah, it looks so fucking
Tom Holland,
awful.
Daisy Ridley.
What?
I don't know how they.
Mads Mikkelsen's in it. That's insane.
Why is Mads Mikkelsen? Oh, but Nick Jonas.
Yep, Nick Jonas. It's the director of Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh my!
It's everything's going for them, and they just fucked it up.
How do you fail that so hard? What a sad day.
It's so interesting. From my memory, it's not even a film that's so bad that you can review it and shit on it. It's just
Jesus. Okay, well, yeah, and then we have The Landscape with Invisible Hand film, which I think is supposed to just be some sort of surrealist metaphor for
Battlefield Earth.
What's Battlefield Earth?
Oh, it's this amazing John Travolta film.
Oh no, the Blue Alien movie?
Where he has dreadlocks?
No, that movie is so fucking dog shit.
What are you
Dude, that movie exists? I thought I had a fever dream, and I thought that wasn't real.
It came out in the 90s.
Dude, I just remember I walked out, and Dad was watching the beginning of that movie, and it was a Blue Alien John Travolta, and I was so fucking confused that I sat down, and the rest of the movie was old for me. It was like a Pokemon hurting itself in confusion.
I've never seen it. I just knew it was bad.
It's up there with one of the worst movies I've ever seen, to be perfectly honest with you. None of it made sense. It was just a fever dream.
I just saw it on when you were looking up the last movie you were looking up. I was like, oh, I know that cover. That's Battlefield Earth.
Oh yeah, terrible film. And then, but yeah, with Landscape with Invisible Hand as Tiffany Haddish and a couple other people. So we'll that's I think some of the there other than later on in the year we have what other movies come out? There was Exorcist, The Believer,
well, I don't
Saw
know.
X.
Everything's getting delayed because no.
But Saw X is still Saw X has some great marketing. Have you seen some of these marketing campaigns for him? No, well, there's some on TikTok, but actually the one I saw today was over on YouTube. I don't know if they moved to TikTok, but basically they had one specifically trying to get people to theaters because, and it's kind of strange because you used to not see that. Obviously, you were like, no, you have to go to theaters and then wait a couple months. But now since you come out to streaming relatively quickly, basically Jigsaw is in the fucking theater and he's talking about this is the best place, and he wheels to get some popcorn and takes his little ass into the theater and sits down. I love that. It was great.
I might be talking about my ass, but Lionsgate's pretty good at that because I think with Paranormal Activity they had those big campaigns where they would do screenings beforehand in LA and film it.
They did,
and then they would use that as the marketing of come see it in the theaters, throw your popcorn around.
Yeah, they did that with The Blackening recently.
That probably actually would have been better in theaters because of the poor lighting conditions.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been much better in the theater.
I think it probably would have been brighter in the theaters. But yeah, especially because we watched it through I believe a cam version.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think now that I think the digital version's out now, so maybe.
No, that's the thing is now we're to the point where a lot of digital versions are out of older films, so we'll probably be watching some of them and then just do a secondary update. We have our first impression reviews and then kind of secondary.
We'll have to talk about on the podcast tomorrow. Get your opinion on Drew Barrymore.
Oh yeah, we'll save that stuff for the podcast. We're already pretty far. We're already an hour and a half deep into this one. I think we had an hour and about an hour minutes or an hour of Titane.
But I'll have to look at the movie schedule for the rest of this year because I'm pretty sure most of this stuff outside of Saw is got
Five Nights at Freddy's.
That one's not delayed. Yeah, Expendables this week. Yeah.
Saw X.
Yeah. I only want to see. We did watch Strays.
Oh yeah, we watched Strays.
Yeah, there is one good joke in the movie.
Yes, so there's this. Do you know what's? Did we talk about Strays, Peter?
No, we haven't yet.
Okay, we'll save it for tomorrow.
Yeah,
but there's just one good joke about an electric fence. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it tomorrow.
I'm just looking at like there's Continental and Gen V as well. Oh, and they just showed a trailer
Gen
for
V's a show, right?
the Fall of House Usher. Yes.
Okay.
Have you guys seen Flanagan's stuff like Hill House?
I have not. Wait, it's Kill House?
Okay. Hill House.
Hill House.
The Netflix series.
No.
Yeah. The problem I like Netflix is only in our living room.
Yeah, we can't really watch a lot of the stuff in there.
Yeah, we had to watch One Piece out in the living room, but I still love that series. I'm gonna have to rewatch it again.
Hill House is like the only horror series I've seen that's really good, and then he last year did Midnight Mass, which was like kind of horror but more like a drama thriller, and now he's doing a series based on Edgar Allan Poe coming out, I think in like 3 weeks, which like they just keep getting more and more up. Like I was watching the trailer and I was like, oh, this looks really good, and then Mark Hamill shows up as the fucking detective investigating this murder mystery. And I was like, fucking Mark Hamill? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, for sure.
It just comes out of nowhere and you're not expecting.
Yeah. He just rocks up and he starts talking.
We watched an amazing Edgar Allan Poe film with Christian Bale.
No. That was so bad, dude. Holy shit!
Was it?
It was called The Pale Blue Eye. It was on Netflix. Absolute snore fest. Real quick, we have a Haunting in Venice comes out in 2 days, which I wanted to see that one. That one looked pretty decent.
We watched The Nun too.
Satanic Hispanics is a funny name, but that's like apparently a Spanish like anthology horror thing. So I'll probably end up watching that. Let's see. I know, obviously,
I want to see Expendables 4 because Megan Fox is in it.
What?
Oh, really?
Dude, are you're back on the Megan Fox obsession? Can we please choose a white woman?
She's also in
with
Mortal Kombat, which is dope.
Oh, no, that's not dope. That is the only reason that I'm okay with it is because she's an abuse victim. So therefore, she deserves, you know what I mean? She deserves her repayment in that.
Her creepy first husband, Brian Austin Green, picked her up at 18 years old and probably groomed her before that.
I mean, most likely. That's what I would imagine.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. We can't say it officially. But, there are definitely a couple of good ones. There was another one that I don't remember when it came out, but there was something called Totally Killer, which is supposed to be a throwback to, like, the
Totally Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw.
Oh, and Napoleon's still coming out, or that?
Yeah, Napoleon's supposed to come out this year. Yeah, really.
Killers of the Flower Moon is getting like an expanded release as well.
Yeah, there was a second trailer that came out.
Yeah,
today. I haven't watched it.
It was pretty good. It actually showed more of like a.
I was gonna watch it like after the first trailer. I was like, okay, you got me.
Yeah, I'm very annoying for a reaction channel because I tend to avoid trailers for films I know that I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, that's kind of
want it to be ruined.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing you got to give up, though. Like honestly, like that's I used to obviously I would prefer to do that, but then you just miss out on good content. So it's kind of like you kind of just got to give it up for the content. I
saw. It seems like the strikes may be coming to a head as well. Like all of the production companies. All of the actual production companies seem like they're pretty close to making a deal, apparently.
Okay, well, I mean, hey, that would be pretty dope. Did you guys see the CEO that said that everybody should?
The special effects, like they go on strike, and they unionize and they go on strike then next, right?
Potentially, unless they can come to some sort of a deal as well, I suppose. But then they don't have the backing of the actors and writers, so that probably wouldn't work out.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I think the automotive union is going on strike this week, apparently.
Oh yeah, no,
really?
No, there was talks about that for a while.
All our cars are made in China. Who's going on strike?
So not all of them. But
I mean, it seems like the strikes are working out because the aviation strike, they got a 35% pay rise, and
UPS drivers.
UPS strike did good. Yeah. There was that fucking there was some CEO that was talking about how we need to suffer and we need to have a 40-50% increase in unemployment. Yeah, he was Australian.
Real
Peter.
estate agent.
You need to answer for your people.
Dude, I mean, there's dog shit people all around the world. Like I saw Netflix CEO said he's concerned that he was quoted as he's concerned that if the strike, his main concern with the strike is if they agree to pay American workers correctly, workers from other countries will ask for fair pay.
Yeah, great. Hold on, that's amazing.
What a dickhead.
Yeah, how dare they?
No, dude, and well, he was literally like, they should be grateful that we give them jobs, and right now they feel it's the other way around, that we should be grateful to have them. It's like, yeah, that is what it is. You need our labor for you to make surplus income that you slurp up on the side. Like, you're not the one out here doing the jobs. Also, real quick, we got Dick's the Musical, and we got The Kill Room. The Kill Room is Uma Thurman, who I don't care for, Sam Jack, I don't know who that guy is.
Oh, wait, what's
Mangafield?
Oh, Joe Manganiello. Yeah. What the fuck was he
the Craven movie there as well.
What was
October
Joe Manganiello?
6th. I don't know. I've seen him before for sure. Oh, really? This must be old then. Oh my god, did you guys see that dog shit Pet Sematary Bloodlines? This is the last thing we'll talk about. Oh my god. So they made a fucking TV show based off of the 2019 Pet Sematary movie. Even though the guy from the original Pet Sematary... What?
He was in True Blood and Magic Mike.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, I suppose. Yeah. But even though that movie from 2019 was dog shit, and for example, the guy that was the main character in the old version of Pet Sematary is still alive, but instead of giving him a role and bringing people back or doing something based on the original, they literally did a prequel television show to the 2019 one that people fucking despised.
Yeah, it's like so the reason why I really like the older horror films is they're very subtle, and where like the updated or whatever the fuck it is, new Pet Sematary movie, it feels like they just have to go to like almost an extreme just to grab people's attention because they had nothing else to do.
There's no slow burn. It's all kind of just to the wall for no reason.
The only one that like it is really good.
Yeah, it's good for well, actually no, Stephen King for the most part, that's how his books are. Like obviously The Shining, very slow burn.
But the original It was
the original It very slow burn. Like all of his shit is like more slow burn psychological horror than anything.
Yeah, I hate Dr. Sleep because of the fucking cat.
No, Dr. Sleep is a banger, and you know that. Anyway, go ahead, Peter.
I love that, like, every film we bring up today, like Logan and, like, It. Like, I don't understand how Machete went from directing 2 good It films to directing The Flash. Like, what the fuck happened?
Oh, that's so crazy. Although the ending of It, too, was not great.
I'm sorry, but did you guys see that fucking James Gunn wants him to direct the Batman in the new DCU?
No, please, no.
First of all, why is the Batman not good enough? We're getting the Batman 2.
Yeah.
And James Gunn's like, yeah, we need another Batman film.
Because they needed to tie into the universe.
Why does he take the Flash director?
Because he liked the Flash. No, he James Gunn liked the Flash. He wasn't lying.
Yeah,
James Gunn actually thought it was good.
He's insane.
Yes. No, I've been saying
but this is gonna prove Rocky's points even more. Is don't let the director have complete control, and now we've given that to James Gunn with DC.
This is the problem: is nobody's overseeing Kevin Feige or fucking James Gunn, and so if they have this idea, James Gunn has that one partner, but even his business partner is supposed to be not really on the story side, more on the business side, and he's pretty incompetent.
I don't know how his Superman's gonna come out.
I think the problem is that he's gonna do the same thing. He's looking to make another Batman because he does still want to have movies that tie into an overall universe while allowing there to be separate sidelines.
That was the one thing Zack Snyder did right with Superman, because Man of Steel is amazing.
Man of Steel was very good. I enjoyed Man of Steel.
But Batman versus Superman.
And I can kind of understand where James Gunn might be coming from. When you look at how the comic books are, right? You have one main universe and one main storyline, and then there's a bunch of offshoots where you have like
Joker.
Random shit that can happen. Yeah. And so I think that like that seems to be the idea James Gunn is going for. But if you want to do that, if you do still want to build a main storyline that you have multiple films over, don't do it now. Wait. See if you can make some money coming off of like Batman 2. You just had a flop with the fucking Flash. Try to make some of that money back through other IPs and just individual stories. And then after you get the audience in and on board and you start bringing in a profit again, then go in and start trying to build that main storyline.
I love Blue Beetle, but I don't know how he fits in with a dark, gritty version of Batman.
No, well, he's supposed to be like the main guy. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be who leads their next thing. Yeah. So like
he's their Spider-Man.
Yes, but Spider-Man works for Marvel because Marvel is this clean image where obviously DC has this
Tom
grittier
Holland
feel.
Spider-Man movies are overrated.
Yeah, based facts, so facts. But yeah, I don't trust James Gunn. I do think that like he's clearly doing a lot of the same mistakes as his predecessors, and that's what I'd love to see with one of these like comic like fucking companies, is somebody who goes in there and like tries something new again. Like we just haven't had that for so long.
Yeah, that's why the Batman stands out so
Yeah,
much.
for sure, and that's why I have excitement for Batman
I don't
too.
really care. The more I think thought about the Joker since it came out, the more I haven't liked it as much.
Sure,
it's
yeah.
less and less.
It's like, to me, it's still one of the better DC films because
Joaquin Phoenix's
he does it well.
They have a lot of bad films.
Yeah, they have so many bad films. Exactly. Like it's a shitty ripoff of the King of Comedy and Taxi Driver, but still compared to like the first Suicide Squad, like Joker is significantly better than that. But that's not saying much.
You guys have seen The Boys, to leave it back around?
Jason has.
I've only watched a few episodes. I've still been meaning to get back into it. I just don't.
I saw the guy run through the gun guy's girlfriend.
The series that's on the side or whatever.
Gen V.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it looks bad.
It's just
it looks pretty bad.
Yes, thank you, Peter. It does look bad. I swear to God.
I watched Diabolical, and Diabolical was really shit.
Is it okay? Is Diabolical another offshoot?
It's like the Boys animated series.
Okay, gotcha.
But it was really not good.
Well, dude, Gen V looks like.
And Gen V doesn't look good as well. It looks like New Mutants-esque. So I'm looking forward to watching 3 episodes and dropping it.
Yeah, it just fucking.
I gave it a try. That's all. And then review it.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Yeah, because Gen V literally looks like what is that? Fucking high school movie with Ramona Flowers in it, the superhero movie.
Scott Pilgrim.
Sky High.
Oh, Sky High.
Sky High was like I basically get Gen V is Sky
Mary
High.
Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah, she's in that movie.
Yeah.
That's a fucking banger there.
Dude, Sky High is a banger. Sky High is a banger.
I had a crush on Daniel Panabaker.
I did too.
Redhead.
No, I did too, yeah. But fucking Sky High is a banger. But here's the thing is I get like from Gen V Sky High vibes with like the shots of a 2000s like fucking high school movie, like High School Musical.
Yeah.
But then it's got to be edgy and have all this blood bending and all this other shit. Which also, fuck you for ruining blood bending. I that was a great part of the Avatar: The Last Airbender TV show, and now they've moved it into some weird shit.
High School Musical's a 6 out of 6, you know.
Oh, High School Musical is a 4 out of 4, 100%.
I saw that in the third one. I saw in the movie theater.
The third one is mid. The first 2 are bangers.
I know it's like definitely aimed for younger audiences, so I'm not expecting to love it, but I hope it's at least decent, because, I mean, Seth Rogen and Kripke seem on a producing binge. Like, Boys was good, and then they fucking did TMNT, right? And now they're doing... Like, they're doing at least different stuff. So I appreciate that.
I heard a rumor that potentially Street Sharks might come out with a movie, which is something that I grew up with, and I absolutely loved, like, the show.
Where's Static Shock? I need that.
Static Shock is...
That's what I need.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Disney is going to take Static Shock and fuck it up.
Yeah, I know. Like, we need to get, like, just a solid black director in there and just, like, have them take it over and be like, Disney, you're not allowed to get any input on this. Or else you're racist.
Just call him out. Just, hey, there was a Disney exec on the set today.
Yeah, that means that we will put out there that you guys have been racist on this set. They start blackmailing them to get a movie that they like.
Although you need to have somebody watching over, because obviously there's
but
a
just
black
not
director
Disney.
on Across the Spider-Verse, and apparently he's abusive. So.
Just not Disney. That's it. I don't mind if there's some oversight. We need some oversight. Just not Disney. Disney, any of them that are not willing to go out and beyond, we shouldn't allow. But
Disney should just get bought out by Apple. Like, I haven't seen a lot of their shows, but they seem to have such a limited oversight that either like a show's bad because the director's fucking got no idea what they're doing, or the show's good.
Yeah.
I've never watched one of their shows and felt like they've really had a...
Yeah, After Party Season 2 is so fucking good. Yeah, like After Party Season 2 was so good. Or like, I mean, I've heard...
I like Ted Lasso.
On there?
I watched the first season of Ted Lasso. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then the new Godzilla series looks amazing.
The new Godzilla series looks mid.
No, I don't care. You hate Godzilla, so that's fine.
I don't hate Godzilla.
You hate Godzilla.
I don't hate Godzilla at all.
Urban is like apparently really good as well, and like prestigious, but I just watched it with people that were shitting on it the whole time, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. But apparently everyone loves Servant. Everyone thinks it's like the best horror series ever made, and I'm like, okay, cool.
A Servant is on Apple TV?
Yeah, I haven't heard of it. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to check out. Apple TV is one of those ones that we had. I think we still have access to. We might have paid it up, but
Ghosted.
They got a lot of good shit. No, Ghosted was so
why
bad.
The fuck
yeah, why did they even make that? Like everything else that they do has been pretty solid.
I feel like I've never watched one of their movies because they've never looked good enough to like me pay for the month to watch.
Oh my god! Also,
like, A Man Called Otto looked really bad.
No, back up.
I completely, in my head, I know what I wanted to do with that movie, and it was not that. I was pissed at Beanie Bubble.
Oh, I think we went over this on a podcast like a month ago or 3 weeks ago. But yeah, 100%. It was never going to be about people going crazy over it. A Man Called Otto is one of the best movies I've seen in the last decade. It is genuinely an amazing fucking movie. It had me in tears at the end. I cried twice.
Yeah, twice. Yeah, I
cried twice.
They've just set themselves up because every film they've released, like 5 Tom Hanks films, and they've all looked like not interesting.
They don't know yet marketing.
Yeah.
The only good one of the Tom Hanks one recently has been A Man Called Otto. The reason I'll say that is because if you take Up and make it a really, really dark comedy, while also having it be really heartwarming and have some seriously, like, intensely good moments, like,
and dealing with,
like neighbors and loss and love. And one of the best moments I remember was, like, he kept having this beef with all of his neighbors, and one of his neighbors across the street, he goes to her and he just pushed her away, and when she opens the door, she kind of gives this speech about how, like,
immigrant, right?
Yeah, she was an immigrant, and she was like, I know that you think everybody is stupid.
Boy that's gay and his dad hates him.
Oh, trans. He's trans. Yeah. But so basically the neighbor goes like, I know that you think everybody is stupid, but at the end of the day, just because you think everybody's stupid doesn't mean we can't help and love you. And it was one of these moments where I was like, oh, it takes this thing where this person puts them on a pedestal.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of how I treat people.
I was like, that's so fucking real. Or like I've seen people treat people that way because they put themselves on a pedestal, but it's like everybody matters to a certain degree.
And the film kind of does a really good job of showing that he's not a terrible person, and his son's in it, and he fucking looks exactly like Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
and it does this great like transitioning from the past to the present.
Oh yeah, it does.
Is extremely well done, and
also there's some analysis about the cat in the movie. Watch A Man Called Otto. Put that on your list. It's a fucking amazing movie. Yeah. My dad watched it. He doesn't like that many movies either. Like it's one of those movies that everybody I've had watch it comes back and is like, "Wow, that was a really good movie."
And watch the recent Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, the Bat Mitzvah movie. Yeah, that one wasn't bad. I liked it. It was actually kind of heartwarming.
He allowed his daughter, I think it was the 2 daughters in the film, to really take the spotlight, and it really works well.
There was a couple really good jokes more than anything, but I thought it worked best on kind of like a drama level kind of basis. But like there was some really funny jokes.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, and like one of the jokes. One of the jokes was like, he's like, we didn't survive the Nazis, so you could have like a fondue fountain at your fucking party, and the whole thing, like that shit was fucking hilarious, and there was a lot of good jokes.
Real shit that teenagers.
Yeah, it's a coming of age type thing. Yeah, for sure. It was very good. There's been a lot of good shit.
It's not like the shitty Kissing Booth movie.
Oh my god, why did you remind me that movie exists?
I actually just watched Uncut Gems as well. Which
did you like it?
Movie.
I like that movie. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, that director is very talented.
Invested, and then the ending, I was like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah, that's so intense.
I believe I didn't get spoiled.
I'm surprised too. That's a pretty. Oh, actually, you know what? Actually, when I think about it,
Twitter, to yourself, there's no fucking way he's gonna die. Like that. That's not how you could end it like that.
Well, because he keeps fucking up and fucking up and fucking up, and like he finally won something, and
it caught up to him.
Yeah, but even though he finally got the money, it didn't matter. It was too late.
And the weekend wasn't in it that much, so it he couldn't ruin the movie.
He couldn't ruin it.
Yeah,
but that movie is probably why we got the idol.
Yeah, he was in the club.
Yeah, he fucked the
white
what's
woman.
her? Yeah, I know her name. It's Uncut Gems. The bitch that like speaks like that. I can't stand her at all. But that movie though is why we have the idol. I'm guaranteeing that because he does coke in that movie and fucks the bit. Like the whole thing is like a prequel to the idol.
Because that director, I know we've enjoyed other films.
It's the Fafsi brothers, something along those lines. But he did Good Times with Robert Pattinson, where he has the mentally challenged brother.
That was a really good movie.
Amazing movie, top tier. I can't remember what if they did anything else, but like those were the two that it was Safdie brothers. That's right.
Oh yeah, Safdie brothers.
Yeah, Good Times. Let's see. I think that might be. Heaven Knows What. We haven't seen that one. Yeah, so it looks like you had a couple before that. Daddy Longlegs, The Pleasure of Being Robbed. That sounds interesting. And then I guess, let's see, do they have anything future coming up? Yeah, it looks like they're supposed to have something coming up they announced, but... All right. Well, okay, so that covers... There's some stuff we can still cover over tomorrow. But I think we got a good amount of stuff here. So, anybody want any last words before I do the outro here?
Yeah, I mean... Titane is Raw stuck with me. Bones and all is still burned in my brain. I don't think I'm ever escaping
Crash
it.
is burned into my brain. Eraserhead is burned into my brain.
Yeah, and Titane is one of those films that is going to be burned into my brain for a good while.
Movies that stuck
and
with
it's going to have me. Even when we were talking, it just constantly in my head. I was like thinking, like, what does that mean? Or what's that? I like those types of films that you can analyze and really talk to people about and try to figure out. Yeah. So
that's why we like Mulholland Drive so much. Yeah, Raw we talked a good bit about like last time too. So yeah, no, there's a lot of this is a series that hopefully we can continue to do, especially as you, Peter, watch some of the stuff. Like if there's a movie that you watch that you think is like easy to analyze or has a lot of stuff to dive into, you can just send it to us, and even if we've already seen it, we can always like rewatch it.
I'm kind of surprised the girl from Titane and Raw isn't in more mainstream stuff.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's a good actress.
I'm surprised I haven't seen her in anything, but is she not in anything, or is she just in like French
I think
stuff?
she was in stuff from 2011 all the way up. So she has been in other
just making
stuff.
films in
it's
France.
Just I think it's just French cinema, and she probably only speaks
French.
French.
Because I saw like Vincent is a massive actor, but also the father is apparently like a massively renowned French director.
So somebody in my post of Raw on Reddit said that the father in there was in another cannibal-esque or identity movie, something like that. Similar.
Father in Titane, but yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Then but
apparently he's like an auteur in France.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, people were saying to like go check out that other film too. It was like from 2004 or something. So I have that on my list.
Oh yeah.
There was another movie called Frailty. I guess I put up like. A poll about like would you prefer Lighthouse, Fight Club, Persona, I can't remember what the fourth one I did was, and somebody under there was like, oh, Frailty isn't on the list. I was like, dude, I've never even fucking heard of this movie.
I think
it sounded good.
It's like we can talk about more tomorrow, but the one thing in my head I've been thinking about this a lot. It does suck about the writer's strike because movie theaters already were fucked during COVID, and now this is fucking them over even more.
Mom and pop shops
I
are
really
have to
wish we had like
theaters.
a movie theater that just played a lot of indie films.
Yeah, we do in San Francisco, but we don't have any.
Yeah, I think I was Googling.
Yeah.
And saw one.
Yeah, there's a lot of small ones in like Berkeley, San Francisco, which is out in the Oakland, even Vallejo.
They have like a whole bar dining area, and people talk about the film afterwards.
Ooh, that would actually be kind of sick. Talking theaters, where you can actually talk. That'd be kind of cool.
I think the focus. I mean, we can talk about it more tomorrow, but the focus should be more on the writers and actors now, because like I got access to this site, I think through IMDb Pro I had to pay, but it's got like tracking and stuff. They're not doing bad. This year's gonna surpass everything other than 2019, but I mean 2019 had Endgame.
That's true.
It's tracking very well. But
well,
like
now we have the Taylor Swift thing, which is supposed to bring in a shitload of revenue.
Yeah, like COVID years were like under 5 billion. Like 2020 was 2 billion, and this year's at 7 already. So they're doing pretty.
We got Oppenheimer. It's just crossed the 900 million.
Yeah, well, and also Beyond the Spider-Verse had a lot of people go in and see it.
Even Fast and Furious made a fucking
huge. I think because people are willing to go watch movies. They just have to be like movies they're hyped up around. Well, that's because they put out so much dog shit. Fuck them. Yeah.
Warner Brothers and Universal have had their best years ever. They've had their most successful ever films. So.
Despite the failure of like Flash, which is crazy.
Yeah,
right? But I'm sure like once the Harry Potter series comes out, it's gonna be big for Warner Brothers.
Possibly.
Sounds like such a fucking. He has no idea what he's doing.
True. Here's the thing.
The Lord of the Rings is an underused property. We haven't made enough movies. Shut the fuck up.
I still haven't watched The Rings of Power. I watched the first episode, really enjoyed it, but I haven't finished that at all either. So
well, listen.
Honestly, it might be worth skipping because they did the second season without the showrunners during the writer strike, so it's probably
that's so stupid. Sucks. Real quick, just as a final note, I've never told you this, Peter. Jason knows. So I have a personal vendetta against Disney, and we can go into this a little more tomorrow as a story. But my dad received a brain injury from the snail in the Disney parade when I was 4 years old. That literally changed his entire personality and life. And I had a huge grudge against Disney for many, many years over. And also during a lawsuit, they sent people to physically record us in order to try to prove that my father did not have a brain injury. So one time I actually found a person with a full camera behind like one of the trees at my grandma's house. And when I saw them, they ran off to the van and they jumped into this van and went off. So anyway, that'll be, we could go into that a little more tomorrow, but there is a personal vendetta I have against Disney. So I hope they fail.
Screamed out stranger danger.
I should have.
Pointed at the van.
I should have. A dude dressed in all black with a camera jumping into a van. Yeah, that looks pretty fucking suspicious.
He's taking pictures of me to masturbate.
But yeah, so fuck Disney, and every dollar they lost brings me joy.
Yeah, I don't think anything will change even if Apple buys them, right? Like, I mean, Disney
probably
sucks.
Not. No, I think that Disney's top-down structure is so integrated into the way they do things that it's like impossible to remove it.
They need to blow up all of Marvel at this point because
just destroy it, restart, hit the reset button. They did that in the comics. They did that in the comics in like the 90s. They were like, "Fuck it, we got to hit the reset button."
At some
and they literally did.
I don't know when it's going to happen. At some point, they're going to remake Iron Man.
No, I don't.
At some point, they're going to remake Captain America: First Avenger. It's going to be a different actor. It's going to happen at some point. Back to the Future never can happen.
I'm sorry, what?
Back to the Future can never be remade.
It will be remade.
No.
But I mean, it will. But
Rob, that's the greatest.
So someone's going to remake it with the actors from The Flash, whoever they talked about.
Or they remake it with Justin Roiland, and he does the Rick and Morty voices throughout the entire fucking thing.
Well, that would be right. Justin Roiland seems like somebody James Gunn would hang out with.
That's true. I believe that. I believe that for sure. I mean, Justin Roiland hung out with Dan Harmon, who had that weird pedophile joke.
Yeah,
so that all adds up.
Nobody hangs out with Dan Schneider.
No, well, I sure fucking hope they don't. That would be terrifying.
Yeah, sure.
All right, well, we'll go ahead. Thank you guys for joining us for this one. Check out Peter in the links below. You can also subscribe here for more content like this. You can follow our links below as well. And we'll see you all.
And Jake Paul caused Aaron Rodgers to end the season.
Jake Paul?
Oh, I forgot to tell you. There was a video I saw, and I haven't sent it to Tim yet.
Okay, please tell me what you're talking about.
So, Peter, this is like the NFL. Aaron Rodgers is expected to take the Jets to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But there was a video right before Aaron Rodgers is ready to start the game.
Yeah.
And he dabs up Jake Paul.
Oh my God! It is Jake Paul.
That's what I thought.
Dude,
I was
he
like,
must have like put something.
Tim. If I send this to Tim, Tim's gonna go on a hunt.
You know what? He probably had like a little prick on his finger that like put some sort of muscle tension like thing into his blood, and it caused his muscles to tighten on the field. And that way, when he moved, it pulled it and ruptured his fucking Achilles. We figured it out, guys.
Yeah,
Jake Paul did it. All right. Well, that's a great note to end on, guys. So we'll see you all in the next one.
Space out of my head to the depths of the universe. It's a spell or a chance just to open